Okay, we are live on 14 out of 15 or 15 out of 15 channels. I'm not wearing a shirt today because it's warm and I don't want to start sweating. So,
Colin Daisy.
Doc,
Good morning, Nay.
why don't you come to my show anymore, buddy? I haven't seen you in forever. You used to come all the time. I never see you anymore.
Southern Fisherman 840.
Hey, Token Dave.
Morning, broski.
What's up, buddy? You too. I haven't seen either of you guys. You guys going out on some fishing excursion for like a month or two? Both of you? What the hell?
Big MER.
You get swallowed by a food truck?
Sup, my friend.
Tell me what's going on. I didn't even know you lost your job at the hotel. Somebody told me in the chat. He's like, he doesn't work there anymore. I'm like, what? You got to catch me up on your life, bro. I have no idea what's going on with you. I'm very upset about all of this. I'm very upset. I'm sure you can tell. Jesse Raylia, what's up? Jesse. Big Merc, what's up? How's it going, everybody? I got all kinds of questions and I'm getting no answers from y'all. Hello? Doc? Token Dave? Oh, there we go, Doc. It's been a long time. Shallowed.
Long time, man.
Swallowed by a food truck. I quit the Hilton.
Shallowed by a food truck, man.
You look way better. Oh, thank you, bro. I feel a lot better.
Big MER.
It's amazing what dropping about 10 pounds will do for a guy, you know, in one day.
Southern Fisherman 843. No, man, just been busy as hell. My business has blown up and I've been doing a bit of traveling.
Oh, right on, buddy. Congratulations. I'm glad, man. That's great news. You know, this commerce today is sucky. A lot of people are having problems, getting paid. And it's just nice to see that somebody's doing well. So good, man. I'm so glad. So you quit the Hilton. What happened, bro? Were you supposed to get like a promotion and they gave it to a new person or something? Like some new person came in and they made them manager of the kitchen instead of you? Tell me what's up. Why'd you leave the Hilton? I thought you were happy there. Tell me the story.
Daisy. I wish I had more exciting news for you, brother. The food truck is so good.
Really? That's good. What kind of food do you guys do on the food truck? Maybe we could have you guys come here to my neighborhood, dude, and do Food Truck Fridays, and I can go hang out with you up there. Wouldn't that be funny? You guys drive on over to freaking, would you drive that thing down I-4? I don't know how well it drives, man. Maybe it's not maybe it's a local thing, you know? We got so much to cover, guys. We've got two huge stories that I want to get through. So let's get started with that immediately, okay?
Colin Daisy. Yes.
I'm feeling a lot better.
They lied to me three times about my promotion.
Ready to scream and yell.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Let's see here. Let's just go with YouTube. And we'll go with
Jesse Relly.
I got DuckDuckGo up instead of Google.
Smoking on the cheetah piss, amazing taste, nay.
Cheetah piss? I've heard of that one. Nice. God. Let me go to my history. Oh, here we go. Brianna Joy Gray. I found it. Okay.
She's
Doc Colin Daisy.
So this is...
I would love to bring the food truck to your neighborhood.
I don't mind spending some time on this story because I think it's great that this guy, Nick...
Southern Fisherman 840
got on to the Hill.
Blue Dream Dab coming up wakey bakey.
Unfortunately, I just don't think it was the fucking the old school beatdown that his whole network is trying to portray it to be. When you sit and you watch it and you listen to him speak and you listen to the other side speak and you take it point for point, you're like, it's not this big own, you know, it's like, okay, you know, you filibustered the guy for about, 2 minutes and you didn't let the guy talk. And then when he finally spoke, he made sense. What he said was true. And you're trying to say that's an own? It's, I hate these team sports. I fucking hate team sports. Yeah, and if somebody does a good job, you fucking give them the points. You say, you did this, you did that. But when they get stuff wrong, you take those points away and say, well, you kind of screwed up there and that didn't make any sense. But to just give this blanket commendation over something that was subpar, it was subpar. Hey, Nick, Put on some fucking nice clothes if you're going to go on a show like The Rising. Really, you look like a scumbag, bro. You looked like a scumbag. You know, just, I mean, for the moment, it's like if you're going to a funeral, you're going to a wedding, I'm sure you've got some nice clothes you could put on to be interviewed on the Hill. That takes away from your immediate presentation. People aren't going to take you seriously, man. Everyone gets dressed up to go on TV. Everyone gets dressed up to go on Ice. What's up, son? Everyone does themselves up, you know, does their hair, the girls and the eyelashes and the makeup, and the guys wear the suits and the ties and the things. And the reason you do that is you don't want your clothing to be a distraction of what you have to say. You just want to look good so people will listen to you. You don't want them to focus on the fact that you look like a scumbag, that you look like you just crawled out of bed.
The part, man.
So that was my first problem. And of course, Sabby didn't mention anything about that because, oh, you know, you got to play team sports. You know, on your team, you can't do the wrong thing or put someone on your team and say something bad about them because you're on a fucking team. So I'm not on anybody's fucking team. And hopefully that's why you come to this show. Because, you know, if you come here, I'm not going to pull my punches. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat anything for anybody. And as soon as I see it with my eyes, you guys are going to hear it. All right? So let's get into this one, and we'll do a little smoky. I wouldn't mind smoking a little bit because Iceman's here. I like to smoke when Iceman's here. Let's just get started on this. My mouse is moving so slow. It's driving me crazy.
So glad to be here, brother. Brian Munoz.
Brian!
Good morning, Nay.
Hey, Brian.
Sorry for the absence, been working my $1 off.
Well, I'm glad you're back, and I could definitely use the support. So if this is something you guys can hang out for today, I would greatly appreciate it.
Joel Froggy.
Hey, Joel.
Hello, Nay.
The people are, there's more and more people in the chat, and the numbers are going down. Okay, so they're lying. There's more than 6 people here, and that's bullshit. Okay, let me do this. Can I get more than 6 ones from a different person? Can I get a, oh, okay, now it says 8. Never mind. Okay, all right. All right, let's keep going. Anyway, this is Sabby Sabs. I'm a fan of hers, but, you know, she's going to get some things wrong, and I'm going to call her out on them. That's the title of this video. Is Sabby, you got it wrong. You can't start an argument based on non-facts. You can't win an argument with lies. Okay? And for some reason, Sabby just feels like it's necessary for her to blindly protect Nick without actually, you know, getting into the details of the mistakes, you know?
If you have not seen this interview that Nick did on the Hill...
This is all team player bullshit.
Cheers, Nick.
This is all team player bullshit, okay? I'm not even going to play the intro because all she does is stroke Nick and act like he's perfect and infallible and it was a total own. That's what she says. And it's not true. It's like she does all this building up about how great he was, what a great performance it was on the Hill Rising. Oh, and he just destroyed the whole internet with this, right? All right. Well, it was, like I say, it was a subpar performance.
Let's go ahead and get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Earlier this week, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre blamed the current immigration crisis on a flow of migrants fleeing authoritarian regimes in Latin America, and chastised Florida Governor Ron DeSantis for exploiting, quote, victims of communism by flying them to Martha's Vineyard. Let's watch.
Let's remember, these folks are fleeing communism. When you think about Venezuela, what's going on?
Look. I just want to say this. I agree with Sabby on this point. You don't know why those people were leaving Cuba, and it may not have been the political system. Maybe they couldn't get water. Maybe they had some kind of an issue. Maybe they were homeless. Maybe they were being attacked. Maybe they, you know, there could have been all kinds of things, and it may not have had to do anything. It may not have had anything to do with the fact that it's a communist country, which it is a communist country. But I'm not saying they're fleeing communism. They were trying to go to America, which would have been a better way of life, is what they perceived. But I'm not saying they're fleeing communism because I didn't hear it from them personally. I didn't hear them say, hey, you know what? Our political structure in Cuba is the reason why the 50 of us came into your country, because we didn't like the political system. I didn't hear that at all. Hey, and you want to try to say that democracy, democratic system is the answer to that, and we'll fix that. Well, they make a really good point. Nick makes a good point later about, hey man, we've got Skid Rows all over this country. We do. Every state's got them. We've got homeless people everywhere. So, why, you know, and you want to say people don't want to flee that? They don't want to get out of their homelessness, out of living on Skid Row? Of course they do. They just don't have the wherewithal. They don't have the balls. They don't have the strength. They don't have the spine that those people from Venezuela had to just pick up and leave. Americans just aren't really good at that. They're not really nomadic, you know? But I digress.
When you think about what's going on in Nicaragua, when you think about what's going on in Cuba, they are fleeing political persecution only to be used as a political pawn by the Florida government.
Right. Now, I'm sorry, it was hard to hear what she was saying, but it's not really that important. Sabby's about to make the same point that I made.
The way that we...
I just have to jump in here. This comment that she made here about them fleeing communism. So, according to the definition of communism, there is actually no true communist country in the world.
Okay, that's a lie, and that's not how you win an argument, Sabby. There are communist countries. There's 5 of them. And if you don't give credit to the existence of communism, then how can you debate how great communism is if it doesn't exist? Wow. Did I just blow all of your minds? So, look, we could move on and we could go into this. We could get into this, this debate. You know, it's not really a debate. It's just Nick stealing airtime from the other guy, not letting the other guy talk, as far as I'm concerned. But let me show you this little infographic. What's that?
Hollandaise.
A list of current communist countries in the world. You've got Cuba,
damn good point.
You've got North Korea, you've got Vietnam, you've got China, and you've got Laos. So there's 5 communist countries that are alive. They're doing communism. And if you want to deny the existence of China, and you want to deny the existence of communism in China, maybe you should go live there for a year and just try it out, and then come back and report back to us and let us know how it was. Now, I'd love to get more into that with y'all, but I would need to see some response in the chat, and I got 0. So we're going to move on, okay? We're going to move on. All right, here, let's do this. We'll move on first with the bong rip. All right, and then we're going to talk about cannabis in Florida. I've got an article here.
MERK83. Retwitter sphere trend.
What you guys all just proved to me is that none of you are interested in Sabby, Sabs, Nick, communism, the Hill Rising, or any of that shit. You don't want to talk about any of it. You didn't even say a word in the chat. So we're going to move on because I don't want to lose you guys because I'm talking about something that you're not interested in. And I could see you're not interested in hearing about Sabby Sabs. None of you said a word. So like I said, we're going to move on. And I think you'll be more interested to talk about cannabis in the state of Florida. After we smoke a little cannabis, what do you guys think? Yes? Yes? Thank you, Merck. Thank you for retweeting, man. I appreciate that. All right. Cheers, guys.
MERK83. I was on Twitter. ROX1SMF. Let's hear about cannabis in Florida UH. Edwin Sparks. Yes.
Edwin, hello.
Doc Hollandaise. Cheers.
Cheers, Doc.
Imadatus. Cheers.
I made this. Cheers. Hello, Rocks. Now I'm sweating. So that's why I'm not wearing a shirt, man. Still got a little bit of the sickness. I'm down with the sickness. But I'm down to 180 pounds. So that's good. There was a time when I was 190. I think I got up to 195 or 190. I was way up there, man. That was why I was living here. I was like, no. I got to stop that. I was almost in the 200 club again. Didn't want that. All right.
Hollandaise. You look fantastic, brother.
Thanks, man. That's just from being sick. Drop some fat, you know. Okay, so I found this article very interesting, and I could see both sides of it because I don't pull punches and I don't play sport. I don't play team sports. I'm not on your fucking team. I'm on the team of truth. And if you're on team truth, then you're on my team. But otherwise, you're going to have a hard time getting along with me when you're playing on somebody's fucking team. I don't care if you're on team marijuana. Can you believe that shit? Ugh, so vulgar. It's the only thing that they will just ignore, the fact that this is a racist made-up word. Instead of just calling it cannabis, let me just see. CANNABIS. It's one less letter. So you're going to save money by calling it cannabis, you fucking idiots. Call it cannabis, all right? Let me tell you. Marijuana is a fake, made-up, racist word. You know, it's like the N-word is for humans.
Coming from California,
the M-word is for
totally
plants.
Fucked up medical cannabis program.
You don't want to call someone that name. You don't want to call them that word, right? It's the M-word. You don't want to use that. Makes me sick. And you know what else makes me sick? John Morgan from Morgan, Calling, and Gilbert, or Morgan and Morgan and Morgan, or Morgan and Son, or Morgan and fucking whatever cunts they are now, who could keep up with their stupid business name. They've changed it so many fucking times. John Morgan, he's an asshole. He's an asshole. And he's also a fan of fucking Ron DeSantis. So this guy owns the largest law firm in the state of Florida, right? They've done over $1 billion worth of recoveries for people. They're always on TV talking about it. He's an asshole, and his son's an asshole too. His brother had some kind of a disease and used cannabis to make himself feel better. So John made it his life's work to try to get marijuana legalized in the state of Florida. And I contacted him years ago. And I said, John, I said, you should start calling it cannabis instead of marijuana, because marijuana is racist. It's got a bad rap already. Okay, it's racist. And people might know it, but there's something in the back of your brain that tells you it's wrong to use that term. And when people hear it, they hear a negative term. And if you use the word cannabis, it'll change the way people look at it, because they'll get the history of it, blah, blah, blah. He's like, no one knows what that word means. I'm going to keep calling it marijuana. He literally emailed me back and said, no one knows what that word means. No one even knows. I'm trying to get as many people on board as I can. He wrote like this whole little paragraph. So I choose to use the word marijuana. And I was like, okay, fine. Let's see how that works out for you. You know? And he still can't get it legalized in the state. In fact, they're trying to pass a bill now where you could get it with a doctor's recommendation, but of course everyone should have access to cannabis, and there should be no hoops to jump through, and you shouldn't have to pay the fucking state money so you could take medicine. Are you kidding me? I'm already heated up again. Give me a second. I'm literally just got sweat running down my... So I saw this article.
John Morgan was instrumental in getting medical cannabis legalized here, though. Not defending him, but credit where it's due.
Yeah, except it's not legal here. You need a doctor's rec. You know, you don't have free access to it. And you can't even grow your own cannabis. I mean, those were the laws that he passed through. Let me tell you something. He fucked it up. He fucked it up. If that was his bill, he fucked it up. And he's a dick for doing it. You can't grow your own cannabis? Really? Dude, you know what kind of trees I could have in this backyard? I could be servicing this whole neighborhood, bro. Fuck John Morgan.
X1 SMF. They always fuck it up.
They always fuck it up. Hey, man, I think that John fucked it up. After all, he's the douchebag that wants to keep calling it marijuana, even after I told him it was racist. Even after I told him it was a made-up fake word. You know? So he's an idiot. And I don't know if his brother's still alive. All right, here it is. Firm bankrolls drive to legalize recreational marijuana. I'm going to use that word every time they do, just so you can hear how stupid, racist, and obnoxious and negative it really is. All right? Tallahassee, Florida-based True Leave. Now, I've used True Leave. I've gone to their dispensary and I've used their cannabis, and it was phenomenal. Their stuff is awesome. My shit's better. But their shit was fucking
it really
phenomenal.
Sounds stupid. Agreed.
But my shit's better. Anyway, Florida-based TrueLeave, one of the nation's largest medical marijuana companies, has kickstarted a campaign to legalize recreational. Oh, recreational! You gotta love that too. You're all aware of that term, right? Recreational. Marijuana, that comes after recreational, for adults in the Sunshine State. Look, man, why not just make it legal for everybody? Yeah, adults, recreational, all this bullshit. Let's just talk about recreational for a second. No such thing. No such thing. Oh, but I'm using it recreationally. I'm not using it medically. I'm just using it with my friends to have some fun and watch some movies with. Oh, we're just smoking a little marijuana and we're just having fun. We're smoking a little pot and we're having a pot party and we're just getting high. What? We're getting high. What? What are you doing? We're getting happy. Does it make you feel good? Yeah, like happy pills? Well, yeah, kind of. Like an antidepressant? Well, yeah. Medicinally, not recreationally. There is no recreational cannabis ever. There never was, and there never. I don't care if you're watching fucking Cheech and Chong, getting high, watching it. You're using it medically. And they were using it medically in that movie too. It looked crazy and it looked over the top and whatever, but their bodies were all benefiting from the THC coursing through their veins and literally locking into every cell in your body. And we've proven that. It's not just brain cells. We've proven that, man. THC works all over your body. You rub it in anywhere, man. A hangnail that hurts, put it in. Oh man, even right there where your nail is, the pain goes away. It's locking in with every cell in your body. But I digress. Boy, oh boy, we went off. So like I said, and I'll say it again, there is no recreational marijuana. It doesn't exist. And morons like John Morgan and whoever this asshole is that wrote this article need to get that through their numbskulls when they're writing about it. They need to stop using this terminology. They need to put that shit in quotes and put a little footnote next to it and say, actually, there's no such thing as recreational marijuana. And actually, marijuana is a racist made-up word.
To go to the
and you should just call it cannabis. Footnote that shit.
Burdensome. $75/year to the state for a card is bullshit. It's $95 to replace a lost card, like WTF. Disabled people getting fleeced.
Yeah, oh, but John Morgan, he's your fucking savior. But John Morgan, he got it legalized here, didn't he? Look at all the hoops you got to jump through.
Fuck yeah.
How many people are getting money? How many people that don't deserve it are making money? Is that going to the cops? Does it go to the schools that were teaching us all our lives that it was bad, that this is your brain on drugs? We've had this discussion before, and I don't know how many of you actually were around for some of those conversations. I really don't want to get back into them. I think it's important that everybody know these things, though, so go back and watch some of my old shows. All right? For adults, right, okay. The company has contributed $10 million to date to the Smart and Safe Florida campaign to get a constitutional amendment.
House hobo. Sounds a bit like the medical cannabis situation here.
Thank you for calling it cannabis, bro. Amendment in the 2024 ballot, and so far it's sole contributor. Now, you hear that? You hear that? Huh. TrueLeave is the only ones that have put up 10 mil. Where the fuck is John Morgan at? With all his billion. Hey, we could use a little 10 million over here, John. You just made 10 million on a case last month. You think you could hook it up, bro? I thought you wanted everyone to have access.
I miss my $35.
But now that John Morgan's legislation has been passed and all his little buddies are making money off of every time you have to go to a doctor, right? Every time. I bet you he's getting a kickback on every single license in the state. Somehow. Piece of shit. The organization already has spent $6.5 million to start collecting the nearly 900,000 signatures needed to bring the citizen initiative to a vote. So if you guys are in Florida and you can go to a TrueLeave dispensary, I would think they've got sign-in thing where you can sign this petition, you know? So go to True Leave if you want to see this happen in the state of Florida. I support this 1,000%. I think having to go see a doctor to tell me that I need cannabis when I'm smarter than the fucking doctor is about cannabis is obnoxious and stupid and ripping me off. And somebody's making money off it that doesn't fucking deserve my money. Is this to do with the restrictions on how many repeat prescriptions you can get? I don't know that law, Hill House. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. I missed my 35 annual re-ups in California. Rox, why should you pay any? You are so indoctrinated, Rox. I love you. Don't get me wrong. You are so indoctrinated to think that it's okay to pay money for something that should be free for you. Look at you. I miss paying $35 in annual re-ups. Rox, zero, okay? Zero. I swear something just went in my coffee. I saw something float down from my hand. Man, oh, it was a hair. I do not want to drink a hair. God damn it. I saw it. Rox, you're lucky. I got a hair in my coffee. Just chill for a second here. Where's my cell phone at? $35. That's okay to pay $35. Oh, there it is. Yes. Yeah. What the fuck was that? Dude, I saw that thing fly off my freaking hand. Some fuzz, man. It's like some fuzz. The good old flashlight on the cell phone trick. Psh, you gotta love that. You support me? Well, you're the one that turned me on to True Leave, bro. The first time I ever had True Leave was when you brought me over the member berry. And that shit was amazing.
Also, little known recent fact. You can get an emergency raise in your limit on flour now in Florida.
An emergency raise. Hun, Rox. Ugh. I know. It's all rules and regulations. Everything that you're talking about, like it's good, is a rule and a regulation. And when we say no law regarding cannabis, you have to stop cheering on the $35 annual re-up. You have to stop cheering on that you can get an emergency raise in your limit on flower in Florida. You should be able to grow giant trees in your backyard and go back there and just pick the buds when you need them.
A little something.
This is crazy. I can't believe I'm talking to my own audience like this, man. I can't even get into this article.
ROX1SMS.
Because we're talking about stuff that you guys, and we're not on the same page.
Doc Holland Daisy.
I'm not saying I agree with any of it. Nay. Good, Rox, because it seemed like you're like cheering it on. You said you missed your $35 that you had to pay every year. Who's getting your $35? And why do they need $35 so you can grow and smoke your own cannabis? Does that even make sense to you? I mean, give me $35 so you can drink your own water. Give me $35 so you can breathe your own air. Give me $35 so you can turn on your TV. Give me $35. Man, I'm going to be rich. I'm going to tax you on every single thing you do. It doesn't have to make sense. I just want your money. That's it. That's government.
I wish they would legalize cannabis in North Carolina.
Right, Marla? I know how you feel. I know exactly how you feel. Okay, let's get into this article, okay? Because we haven't even gotten into it yet. I'm sorry, and it's my fault. All right. The company has contributed $10 million to date. The Smart and Safe Florida campaign to get a constitutional amendment on the 2024 ballot, and so far is its sole contributor. The organization already has spent $6.5 million to start collecting the nearly 900,000 signatures needed to bring the citizen initiative to a vote. I'm assuming they're using that money for advertising, but I haven't seen any of it. Florida has 22 million residents and 130 million tourists a year, so it's a huge market opportunity. Motherfucker, dude. It's all about money, 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 isn't it? Fuck you. It's a huge market opportunity, and we're very, very bullish on the prospect of this initiative. True Leave CEO Kim Rivers said during her keynote address on September 14th
I remain a criminal cannabis
at the Bazinga Cannabis Capital Conference in Chicago. Bazinga!
That's fair. $300/year in Florida is beyond excessive. Immoditus. I am sick about the overregulation of a goddamn plant that is so helpful for humanity.
No, your $35 didn't pay bud tenders, etc. Are you kidding me? That's not where your money went. Do you know how bud tenders get paid? For the cannabis that gets sold out of the dispensary, Rocks. You're just making shit up in your head. You just made that up, and it's absolutely not true.
Josh G. Nay, the upper body looking real nice.
It's
son.
not fair.
Looking
No,
like a
$35 is bullshit when you consider how many people are paying
LAOS
$35 just to smoke cannabis.
Yes, money.
You said I don't support it. Now you're just going to sit here and argue with me about it? You just said I don't support any of it. Now you're going to bring it up and try to argue it with me? Come on, man. I'm trying to read this article, Rock, seriously. Can you drop that shit? I'm sick about the overregulation of a goddamn plant that's so helpful for humanity. I feel this. Thank you, I made this. Josh G. Nay, the upper body looking real nice on looking like a chiseled Greek statue. Psst. I just got to get rid of this now. These are just push-ups, man. Push-ups. That's it. Do your push-ups, guys. And I haven't done push-ups in 3 days because I've been sick. Okay. This freaking Kim
Time
Rivers.
for a half-hour bong hit.
Time for a half-hour bong hit. I'm yelling at Rock. She's got to do it. She's got to calm me down. We live in a red state. They must pitch it that way. I know. I get it, Rocks. I was just going to say, Kim Rivers has to say that it's a money-making opportunity, so all of the Ron DeSantises in the world will jump on board, True Leave has consistently supported initiatives
House Hobo.
to give Floridians
I
expanded
have my
access
initial
to safe
consultation
cannabis
tomorrow.
products.
That's free, but the in-depth
Said
consultation after that is £199.
Hold on 1 second.
Then there's quarterly compulsory reviews at £99 each time.
Legalized.
That's before you've even got medicine. Josh G. Shoulders especially, man. I am feeling the jealousy and will be hitting the lead. ROX1SMF.
Thanks, bro.
Call me devil's advocate.
Thanks, bro, Tato Chip. Call you devil's advocate? No, Rox, I'm trying to do something here, and you're literally just subverting my goddamn podcast. Seriously. Said spokesman Steve Vancore said, our goal has been since day one to provide high-quality, safe cannabis products. You see how the industry leaders refer to it? They call it cannabis. Isn't that nice? And this fits in squarely with that goal. Okay, True Leave was the first homegrown medical marijuana company to open a dispensary in Florida and now holds the lion's share of the state market at an estimated 50. It's funny. This moron that wrote this article, I should write a letter to the editor and say, it's kind of funny how the guy who wrote this article was literally interviewing people that are classy enough to call it cannabis for the very reason that the word marijuana is racist. While he insists in the titling and throughout the whole article to use racist terminology to refer to cannabis. Someone clip that for me so I can use it. Someone please clip that for me and tweet it at Truthier News. Please, what I just said. I would appreciate that if you guys would do that. All right. Okay, True Leave was the first homegrown medical marijuana company to open a dispensary in Florida and now holds the lion's share of the state's market at an estimated 50%. Is that fair in the state of Florida? For one company to be 50% of what's going on with cannabis. One company does 50%. That's Ron DeSantis' Florida, guys. And that's the way John Morgan wanted it too. How much you want to bet that John Morgan is somehow affiliated or invested in True Leave? Maybe that's where the 10 million came from. I'm just gonna do a Google search really quick. I'm curious. I wonder if he's somehow affiliated with them. No, it doesn't look like he's affiliated. I don't see anything. but it wouldn't surprise me if he supplied legal assistance to them at all. Because, you know, it's one big happy fucking business. One big mob family. Now, 50% of the industry in Florida is run by one company. And even though I love their product, fuck you, True Leave. Fuck you. You know, what about the mom and pops out there that can grow better than you? And I grow better cannabis than you. And you fucking put your foot on my neck and won't let me grow cannabis right here? Fuck you, True Leave. Fuck you. Fuck you, John Morgan. Fuck you, Ron DeSantis. Fuck you, state of fucking Florida.
But greed ruins everything. Doc Hollandaisy. Clipped brother.
Thank you, Docky. All
Hill
right.
House Hobo. Ron DeSantis may draw succulently upon my ass meat. Fucking prick.
Right on, Hill. So now this isn't even the article that I wanted to get into with you guys. There's another one. See, we're reading this one right here. The other one, right there where it says the tag word, of course.
Billy Ballantyne.
Marijuana! They're racist. We're a bunch of racist. They call it marijuana because we're a bunch of fucking racist. Yeah, marijuana. Marijuana, yeah, I'm a racist. I'm an idiot. I know that it's racist, but I still call it marijuana. Even though I know it's racist, I'm going to call it marijuana anyway because I'm a fucking idiot. Am I feeling any better? I got them on the monoclonal antibodies, bro. I'm on the monoclonals, bro. What's up, Billy? They got me on the monoclonals. All right, let's keep going. I just had to sweat that out, I think. You know, I think that last sweat that I just did like 10 minutes ago, that was like the end of the sickness coming out of my body.
Daisy.
Because I feel so much better.
When you did that, all my dogs started barking.
Your dog made your dog start barking? Are they barking now? Maybe I speak dog and didn't even know it.
That's my new ringtone. Josh G. My dog did too, Doc. Joel Froggy.
Dude, I want that to be my ringtone on my phone. I'm a racist idiot. Marijuana. I'm a fucking racist. I'm a racist.
Doc Hollandaisy. Yep.
Jody, what's up, buddy? Thank
Jody
you.
Melnick.
Thank you, Jody.
Glad you're feeling better, yo.
Thank you.
Billy Ballantyne. Oh, so you got the treasure cove.
Dude, I got the treasure trove. The treasure trove. Oh, I got that. I'm all up in that, with that cherry pie. How about you now? Don't make me cry.
Surrounded by Keef.
FBI.
At Nay's garden, hello, Nay. Full of energy today, hey.
I got some. I got some apples. I got some too. All right, we ready? No law regarding cannabis. Marijuana is a racist term, and everyone should stop using that term. Everyone should stop using that word, and you should chastise the people for being racists that insist on using it. You should send them letters to the editors, speak out, go into a dispensary, say, that's racist. Are you guys racists? You know, there's another term. It's one less letter. It's called cannabis. You know, spend one letter less.
Dude,
call it cannabis.
Record it and upload it somewhere. The world needs to hear that shit.
It is recorded and uploaded.
Doc Hollandaisy.
We just did it. It's on this live stream.
Made
on
2 clips for
15
you so far,
channels.
Brother.
Thank you. Make sure you guys, if you make clips, at them on Twitter at Truthier News so I can see them. Thank you for making them. Thank you. All right. Bottom of the hour. No law regarding cannabis. Cheers, everybody.
Daisy. Cheers, Nay. It's actually a lot of fun making clips.
Someone on Twitter said to me the other day, how do you do those smoke rings? I've tried my whole life. She's like, I did it accidentally once. I'm like, puff lighter. You're trying too hard. You're welcome. It's it. That is the
key.
That's the trick.
Cheers.
You're blowing too hard. And as soon as you let up on that and you do it as light as you can, boom, the smoke rings will just come right out. I need that air now. I'm sweating again. The cannabis is making me sweat, but it's good. It's good. That's a good thing. So we're not done with this article. And if it gets interesting, we might go back into the Brianna Joy Gray Sabby Sabs thing.
Last night I was looking for bear jokes and stumbled across a new movie being filmed about a 250-pound black bear that ate an entire duffel bag full of cocaine. Based on a true story.
That's fucking great. That must have been one chatty bear. Why does this do this? Fuckers.
Gee. Bro Billy, I heard about that shit. Called Cocaine Bear, I wanna watch it.
Cocaine Bear. That's funny.
Jody Melnick. My mom, Ratio Wiggins, is listening too. Billy Valentine. Should
Hey,
call it the
Gracia.
Cartel Carnivore.
Gracia, how's it going? Okay, it's a pretty name. Should call it the Cartel Carnivore. There's probably a million different ways you could go with the naming of that.
Melnick. Mama says Orwell.
All right, well, I'm going to tone it back. That's going to be a little bit more respectable. All right, here.
Froggy.
If it...
How old your dog? Josh G.
Rogie saw...
A holy fuck
4
Cartel
years old.
Carnivore is way better, they fucked up. ROX1SMF. I made my first clip, woohoo.
Oh, Rox, you made a clip. If it's... Thank you guys for making clips and putting them on Twitter. It really helps the show immensely. If you would consider doing that, oh man, it's a huge promotion for the show. If it sees its way to the ballot, I think it passes overwhelmingly, said Ben Pilara, a political consultant and medical marijuana
Daisy.
activist
Rox,
who
that's
helped
awesome.
get constitutional amendment on the 2016 ballot that successfully legalized full potency
ROX1SMF.
marijuana for
I
patients
hope I did it right.
who met certain qualifications. Yet it's unclear whether the conservative Florida Supreme Court will green light it as state law requires, Pilara said. Two most recent efforts to get recreational marijuana use on the ballot failed their Supreme Court reviews in 2021. In one case, the court determined the ballot summary misled voters into believing that it should limit the use of marijuana, while the language of the other amendment would make them think there would be no criminal repercussions for using or possessing pot. Yeah, they literally call it pot instead of cannabis. These fucking idiots.
Brown. Good morning.
They literally call it pot because he's a fucking idiot.
Colin Daisy. Wow.
Right? This is an article. This is an article referring to cannabis as pot. Nice, huh? Yeah, that's going to help get it legalized. Call it pot and bring back the 1970s memories of pot parties. That's a great idea. You fucking idiots. God, they're so stupid. The Safe and Smart... Sorry, Gracia. The Safe and Smart Amendments ballot summary clearly states that it applies only to Florida law and does not change or immunize violations of federal law.
Fuck, I hate that one ick Y, but I hate the P word worse than W. Call me crazy.
I don't understand this. Federal law says the cannabis is on Schedule 1, that it is non-medical. So anything that they do in this state is in violation of that fucking federal law, man. And I can't believe that they just said
Froggy.
that. That's
They
bullshit.
said Commonwealth might legalize in Australia.
Dude, mere possession of cannabis federally is illegal. Okay? It's a Schedule 1 drug. It's illegal. Until they change that stupid fucking law, all of this is bullshit. I'm going to read you this again. I can't believe it. The Safe and Smart Amendments ballot summary clearly states that it applies only to Florida law and does not change or immunize violations of federal law. Yes, it does. It does. Okay, it's saying that people can possess cannabis. Federal law says you can't. You're saying they can. Quit being a liar, man. Well, I don't understand the benefit of that statement. It's a misrepresentation of the facts. Fucking idiots, man. I get it. Oh, I just figured it out. Did you guys get it? Did you guys catch the weasel word? Oh. It states it. Oh, they say, well, I state I have an 18-inch penis. There you go. That's how that works. Rivers said the language of the Safe and Smart referendum has been thoroughly vetted and that she believes it will pass judicial review. We're certainly excited and optimistic and believe 2024 is the right time.
Team Truth.
Yeah, she believes 2024 is the right time, not 2023, not 2022, not right now. Oh, we believe 2024. That's the right time. State law requires 222,898 signatures to trigger a judicial review and 891,589 to get on the ballot. That's obnoxious. That's fucking obnoxious. Why do they make it so hard to get something on the ballot? You need that many fucking signatures from people? You know how hard people would have to work for that? That's still, 50,000. How about that? 25,000 people. That's a good representation of the entire state. They want 1 million fucking signatures? Do you realize how stupid they think we are?
Fucking needs to happen now.
That no one's going to read this article
Cannabis for all
with any kind of a critical aspect to it. They're just going to read through it and be like, oh, and then set the paper aside and go whack off. They're not going to actually see this like Rocks was before. Oh, but I miss paying $35 a year in California. That's it. That's the attitude. You look at this, and a lot of people look at this, and 99% of the people are going to look at this, and they're going to go, yeah, because the state's got to make their money too. We got to wait until 2024. Yeah, that seems right. Yeah, 1 million people signing a piece of paper. Yeah, that seems fair to get something, on a ballot. To get 1 million signatures for something. I'm shaking right now. I'm so angry at the hypocrisy behind all this bullshit. And I told my friend years ago, we got into a fight over this. And I said, I was living in California at the time, and they said, hey man, Florida's gonna make cannabis legal. And he's called it, medical marijuana or whatever. And I remember getting to an argument with him over it. And I can't remember who this was. And I said, that's baby steps. And he said, baby steps are at least steps in the right direction. And I was like, I'll see you in 10 years, bro. Guess what? That was fucking 10 years ago, man. Here we are. And they're just now talking about legalizing it.
The shaking is probably just the last of the cove.
Maybe.
ROX1SMF.
Maybe. I did COVID in one day.
Meanwhile, millions of us continue to support the black market and always will.
I didn't do COVID in one day, okay? I didn't have COVID. I want everyone to know that, and the fucking algorithms suck my dick. All right. The campaign was officially launched in August with the Bellamy Brothers Country Music Act lending its support. David Bellamy of the Bellamy Brothers is the campaign's chairman. The amendment, if approved, would allow people 21 and older to possess, purchase, or use marijuana products and marijuana accessories for non-medical personal consumption by smoking, ingestion, or otherwise. But it would not legalize homegrown pot, again, with the stupid word pot, for recreational use. And the word recreational. So they're using the word pot and they're using the word pot and the word recreational in the same sentence here, just to show you, and it's a short sentence. But it would not legalize homegrown pot for recreational use. Look at this. Look at this. That short little sentence right there. but it would not legalize homegrown pot for recreational use. The word pot and recreational. Well, again, I will say this again. There's no such thing as recreational cannabis. Number two, using the term pot isn't helping you if you're trying to get this stuff legalized. Okay, what is this guy's name? Because I want to call him out by name. Who wrote this article? Jeffrey Schweers. Hey, Jeffrey.
I could covet in one day. Sounds like you're talking about a hiking trail or Epcot Center.
Jeffrey, it seems to me that you're anti-cannabis. I'm just saying. And if you were for it, you would only refer to it as cannabis in this article, like a professional would. It's like Nick showing up to the hill with a frickin' whatever shirt he had on. I couldn't even tell what it was.
ROX1SMF.
Looked like a smoking jacket,
as
actually.
devil's advocate, keywords are a thing. These articles are online.
I think Nick's trying to start a thing. But I digress. Let's get back to this one. And like I said, if we're doing good here, and we are, we could get into that other thing if you guys want to hear it. But we still have another cannabis article to go through. Okay. More significantly, the ballot amendment would amend the current law for the 22 licensed medical marijuana. See, there's no reason to use the word medical when referring to cannabis. For the same reason, the word recreational doesn't apply to cannabis. All cannabis is medical. Okay?
Colin Daisy. Sharing all around the internet, brother.
It's like saying, that only certain kinds of guns are assault weapons. Yeah, it's like that. Dude, I can assault you with anything. I can assault you with any object. And might I say this? I could take a life with almost any object. Any object. I could take a life, right? Anything. This newspaper. Oh, yeah, you don't think I could take a life with this newspaper in my hand right here?
Cannabis is cannabis.
Oh, I totally could. Just grab something. This little electrical converter box. You don't think I could take a life with this little electrical converter box?
We have medical laws and recreational laws here.
What's this right here?
What should they call them?
Huh. Surprising, huh? It's a weapon. It's an assault weapon.
Billy Ballantyne.
Couple of punctures with that and you're dead.
You don't say medical grade chemo. What else would you use chemo for?
The terminology around the cannabis, the misinformation cannabis movement is hilarious. And that's exactly what this is. This is the misinformation. When you see words like pot and marijuana in an article that's telling you about cannabis, you can assume that those people are against the cause. So let's keep going here. I'm going way too slow. I want to get through these articles.
House hobo. Dude, you should hear the government here. They insist that cannabis will never be medicinal in its raw form. Like the dumb fucks wave a magic wand to transform it into medicine.
Okay. And other state licensed entities to grow, manufacture, and sell recreational marijuana products and let the state set possession limits for personal use. Once again, state licensed entities to grow. Dude, every human being in the state of California can grow their own cannabis. Why do these motherfuckers think it has to be some state licensed, nursery, that will be responsible to grow your cannabis for you? Money. And that's all. The state gets licensing through these giant companies. They make them pay a massive amount of money, and they don't mind doing it because they're ripping us off so bad behind the counters. People are like, well, the dispensaries have brought the prices down of cannabis. It used to be more expensive when you got it on the street. Dude, what's going on is they have streamlined the business. Of course the prices are going to drop. That's what they can do. That's what industry does. They're going to drop the prices. It's like a little restaurant on the corner, a little Italian restaurant, mom and pop store. And then down the street, fucking Olive Garden opens up. And guess what? In a month, they have to shut down. It's not that the food at Olive Garden is better. It's just that it's a little cheaper, you know, and people, you know, they get served more efficiently and they get more of a smile, you know, or whatever the fuck, you know, whatever they think the benefits are to something like that. This is exactly what industry does. It bastardizes cannabis for the whole state. And they've ruined it. You know, they've shat all over it, and because of these baby step motherfuckers that think that's okay, this is what you have to wait for. Because of dumbasses like Morgan that write stupid legislation that says, you know, just one company is going to hold 50% of all the cannabis industry in the state of Florida. That seems fair. That seems right. What? Dude, let me tell you something. There is nothing that makes your cannabis better than competition. And it's the kind of competition that your neighbor has when you go over to your neighbor's house and you see what they're growing. And you're like, oh my God, well, how are you doing that? Can I get a clone?
Roach.
And then you get better strains and you get the best of the best.
3/8 cost $140.
And it's grown so good from so many different sources and so many different people. You want a McDonald's for your freaking cannabis? This is all this is, man. It's fucking McDonald's for your freaking cannabis. You're taking away our fucking history, man. They're taking away our past, what was beautiful and perfect, man. When I was growing up, it was illegal, but you know what? You get caught every once in a while, you go to jail or whatever, and you get the fuck out and you buy a bag of cannabis from your favorite fucking dude and go smoke some killer shit. You know, and that's the way it always was. You could get the best shit. And once I moved to California, I was like, I go to somebody's house, they're like, oh, bro, here, take an ounce. What? Have an ounce of this, dude. I just harvested last month, bro. Here, take this shit. It's all cured and ready to go. How much, bro? Dude, no, it's a gift, man. It's what we do out here in California. You'll see. And I was like, damn, you just give cannabis to people, bro. You grow so much, you just give it out to people. You just give it away. Isn't that the way you want it? You go do something nice for one of your neighbors and they throw you a bag of cannabis, of good cannabis that they grew. You're a fucking Uber driver and somebody throws you a bag.
Funny, California needs money, so instead of being innovative, they take notes from ancient Mesoamia. Tax this and tax that too.
Mesothelioma?
ROX1SMF.
Ancient Mesopotamia?
Commies.
Mesopotamia, it's pot. That's funny. We're going to talk about commies here in a minute, but let's finish this because I cannot get through this article. I swear it's like every single paragraph I've got a problem with. Okay, Florida's 1.3 billion medical marijuana industry already is expected to grow to 2.5 billion by 2025. Industry analyst said, adding recreational marijuana.
Good morning, Nay.
Recreational.
Big MERK83. That's true, bro. The cannabis around here is cheaper, but it is getting watered down badly. 12 to 15% THC. Joel Froggy. Cops finally left me alone. I had a lot of attention for a while just for 2 grams worth.
Adding recreational marijuana would grow the industry by an extra 3.8 billion a year. Florida economists predicted in 2019 study, raising 190 million a year in tax revenue. There you go. There it is. Tax revenue.
Big MERK83. Unless you pay more for the top shelf. Surrounded by Keefe. IS Florida considered a red state now or still swing state?
Red state.
ROX1SMF. Yes. That is a problem, Merc.
I go to my neighbor and I pick up a bag of cannabis. They don't get taxes for that. State won't get taxed. That's why they're writing the legislation this way.
Surrounded by Keefe. We went legal only after investors got involved. 10 to 30 million for a license. ROX1SMF. Still red, damn it.
Nationally, recreational marijuana is a 32 billion industry that has brought in close to 4 billion in tax revenue for the 19 states that have legalized it. 4 state legislators passed adult use laws in 2021, and Rhode Island joined the club this year. At least 2 states have recreational marijuana on their ballots this year. Florida first legalized the use of medical marijuana in 2014 with passage of the Compassionate Use Act, but it only permitted the low-dose strain known as Charlotte's Web. 2 years later, voters overwhelmingly passed the constitutional amendment backed mostly by Orlando attorney John Morgan that allowed people to buy medical marijuana with THC. This is his bill. I was right. It was John Morgan's bill.
To be Keith. Even that fucking billionaire, Sheldon, was involved.
With THC or psychoactive ingredient in pot. Once again, using the word pot. All along, opponents warned that medical marijuana was just the first step in outright legalization. Yeah, outright legalization is exactly where it should be.
Adelson.
All right, from now on, I'm going to stop saying marijuana like it's, stupid, obnoxious, and racist. And instead, I'm just going to use the word cannabis. And sham. Trust me, the word cannabis is not being used here, okay?
Yep, ROX1.
Just so I can get through this freaking article. Okay, and while medical cannabis is popular with Floridian state lawmakers have tried to limit the potency of THC in medical cannabis and restrict the amount that can be sold to patients. Even though he quashed a potential ban on smoking medical cannabis in 2019, Governor Ron DeSantis has also said he would not allow the legalization of cannabis while he is governor. And that, out of all the times I said cannabis, they actually used the word cannabis because that was a quote. No. That was the first time they used the word cannabis all those times. What I don't like about it is if you go to some of these places that have done it, the stench when you're there, I mean, it smells so putrid. He recently told reporters, I want people to be able to breathe freely. Ron DeSantis said that. It smells so putrid. What a pussy. What a fucking pussy. Oh, the smell. Oh, I can smell it. Yeah, you can smell it. It's potent. Get the fuck over it. Get used to it. Rub some on your skin and find out it'll make your pain go away, you fucking dumb cunt.
House hobo. What percentage THC are they wanting to cap it at? Nick Brown. Cigarettes don't stink to him. Nick Brown. Ron DeSantis.
Hi, Nick. The reluctance of lawmakers and the governor, if he wins re-election, could mean trouble for the amendment, Polaris said. No question the public opinion on cannabis is strong, Polaris said, but the political headwinds in Florida are not great. A recent Department of Health rule recently came out placing such a limit on how much medical cannabis users can buy, and it has delayed granting...
Hey, Nick. Big MERK83. I love the pungent aromatherapy it provides.
And it has delayed granting the additional 22 additional licenses that they are required to grant under the state law based on the number of users in the patient registry. As of this week, that number reached over 751,000. A lot has changed since the medical initiative was first proposed.
X1SMF. And that's why I buy from mom and pop home businesses that get CA product.
Nearly a decade ago, Vancore said, today nearly 150 million Americans enjoy the freedom and access to safe legal cannabis products.
Nick.
Someone actually used the word cannabis there. A University of North Florida poll in February showed 76% of Florida voters either strongly or somewhat favor legalization. Recent legislation restricted the ability to raise money and pay petition gatherers will have an impact. What? Wait, let me read that again. Recent legislation restricting the ability to raise money and pay petition gatherers will have an impact, Vancore said. One law prohibits petition gatherers from being paid by the signature, and the other puts a $3,000 cap on individual contributions to citizen initiative. So they make you sign 1 million people, and then they tell you the people that you're going to have walking around for you collecting signatures, you're not allowed to pay them. Fuck this state. Fuck Ron DeSantis. Oh my God. They talk about silencing your voices. This should piss you the fuck off. I mean, all this cannabis shit, yeah, whatever. We just got to this part at the very end of the article where it says, hey man, we're silencing the way you can make legislation. We're throttling the way you make legislation. We don't want to hear from the people anymore. We're already requiring 1 million signatures. And now on top of that, you can't pay people for collecting them? How do you guys feel about that? That should really piss you off. Wow. Recent legislation.
Colin Daisy. Fucking bullshit, man.
Yes, Doc, fucking bullshit. How do the rest of you all feel about that? There's only one paragraph left. Go ahead. The array of laws impacting signature gathering has had two effects. The first is to raise the cost, and the second is to slow down the process, Vancourt said. Yeah. Do you hear that? They want to slow down the process. We know that the Safe and Smart campaign is well equipped to meet these requirements and reach the goals of signatures.
Get me on a
securing
plane.
almost
I
900,000
the
signatures.
Countess using the last fucking breath in my body. Surrounded by Keith. That's fucked up.
We have a second cannabis article, and it's even more controversial than the first, believe it or not. Okay? So let's do a bong rip. And you guys just chill out with me for a second while we start this article, which is called, the one we just read was in the Orlando Sentinel, and it was called Firm Bankrolls Drive to Legalize Recreational Marijuana. That was from Jeffrey Schweers.
Involved in any legal cannabis. So far, the industry is disproportionately run by rich white people.
Now, the next article we're reading is right underneath that, and it's from an author named Trevor Frazier. Both of these are Orlando Sentinel reporters. And this one, again, with the word marijuana in both of them. Marijuana processing center irks neighbors. Let me tell you what they're doing. This is what California newspapers did when I moved there.
One SMF. Top of the hour.
They
fire him up.
Constantly use cannabis as a way to get people to buy the paper because so many people are interested in it in California. So you'd see front news all the time. Headlines would be around cannabis. And I used to take pictures of that shit and put it up on Twitter and shit. I'd be like, look, what's going on in California in the newspapers and shit. Florida is now doing the same thing. I could see that they are, once again, every industry is benefiting from cannabis, even the newspaper. Someone please clip that and send it to @TruthierNews on Twitter. I'd appreciate that. All right.
X1 SMF. Same here. Newspapers are dying. Billy Ballantyne.
Newspapers are dying.
It's the last bit of hold they have on the majority. It's like a mom decorating a kid's dorm before she drops him off. She's not even gone when she leaves. She's gonna call and check in.
Right. Let's make the chat bigger. There we go. All right. I'm gonna censor every word that said every racist term in here and use the word cannabis.
Stella Lewis.
Hi, baby.
Greetings.
Hi. All right, here we go.
Big MERK83. Clip it, gang, get some practice.
Cannabis processing center irks neighbors. There's a picture right here of a man. It says Jeff Mazer on his property in Mount Dora on Tuesday. Visible across the street from him is the Curaleaf cannabis processing plant. So he is right next door. And yeah, you're going to smell the cannabis. Now, my question is this. When you're enclosed in a greenhouse situation like that, why aren't you using the same technology that we use in a small-time grow to effectively end the smell that goes outside? We have filters, air filters. Yeah, filters. And they're not expensive. You get giant. I still got them. I got giant filters in California still.
He can give me his house if he's so upset.
Huh.
Surrounded by Keith. You're what the?
My question is, why doesn't a freaking business like that have the filters installed? Okay, that's all.
Doc Hollandaisy.
Thank you, Docky.
Clipped it, bro.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. All right. So, Trevor Frazier fashions himself some sort of a fucking poet. You're going to have to excuse the prose at the beginning of this article. It's really thick and stupid. Mount Dora, a gray sky hangs over a small lake with flowers in the background. But there's a faint hum, like the drone of a plane that never seems to land.
MERK83. Rounded corners.
That upends the otherwise natural scene. Do you guys like that? Yeah. Fucking prose, motherfucker. Whatever, Trevor. That's just a taste, says Lynn Graber, of the noise from a nearby medical cannabis processing plant. And then there's the smell, said Graber's neighbor, Debbie Heimelrich. Ugh, the smell. Some of the residents describe it as a
The business
skunk-like.
doesn't have the knowledge. They're money men that think they know the ropes of growing.
Look, there's plenty of strains out there.
Big MERK83. So enchanting.
There's plenty of strains out there that smell so good. These people wouldn't be complaining at all if this company was growing the right shit. They're growing some stinky skunk out there. Of course, it's going to smell like skunk. You know, they're growing sour D and it's going to smell like fucking fuel. Duh.
Daisy.
Don't grow those two strains.
I love the way you read it.
Yeah, do you like my prose? Recitation? Oh, yes, the recitation. Others say it has a chemical whiff to it. Yeah, that's that sour D. You know, like acetone. That's that gas, son.
Well, Lewis. LOL.
In the years since Curaleaf...
ROX1SMF. My friends bought an old Budweiser plant in AZ and turned it into a cannabis processing center.
In the years since Curaleaf opened its cannabis processing center, neighbors have... I love newspapers. I just love the feel of a newspaper. Anybody else? I love flipping the pages and folding it and getting it nice and crisp so the article's like, you know? Anybody else? Or is that just me? Complained that the noise, odors, and all-night lighting have disrupted their peaceful lakes of Mount Dora neighborhood. Yeah, they're growing that shit 24/7, baby.
X1SMF.
Black that shit out.
Steel AAAA.
Dude, they could install
Big
a couple
MERK83.
things.
I'll trade beer factories away all day.
Dude,
No
you
loss.
could work with these residents.
Phil.
You could fix all of these
Curaleaf
problems.
is garbage.
Dude,
Doc
this
Cullen Daisy.
company should hire
Love it.
me to come
Surrounded
in
with
there,
teeth.
talk to the residents,
Curaleaf is taking over.
and suggest what they should do to fix all of these
ROX1SMF.
issues, like a
At Big
consultation.
MERK83, no shit.
They need a consultant, man. They need someone to come in there and say,
Billy
look,
Valentine.
we want to be able to
I
process
didn't
here.
even know we still killed
and
trees
and
for
let me
noon.
just say this, too.
I haven't seen a paper box in 10 years.
Ugh! It really pisses me off that this company chose a residential location.
Ben Roach.
Why would you do that to people?
Nay, have you heard of LA Kush? Cake.
You're worried about a dispensary being so far from a school, you fucking cunts. But you'll let a fucking processing company build across the street from a residence? Wow. That's your legislation, John Morgan? Morgan, and calling in Gilbert and Son? Mr. fucking $1 billion man? We have earned over $1 billion for our clients collectively over the years. Actually, I think it's more than $1 billion. They're like serious shit, dude. They're like the biggest law firm. And I'm taking them on. I'm taking on the law firm. He's actually a business partner of mine. He owns some of my warehousing. Yeah, he's part owner. Full disclosure. But I'm way more of an owner than he is. I got way more in it than he does. Isn't that funny? Savvy. No, Kush Cake. LA Kush Cake. I have not. Let's get into this because this article is just priceless. Okay, but reaching out for help has led to buck passing from the city to county to state and back again with no definitive word on what can be done. You legislate, man. If they're not going to do it, which these assholes are doing it to themselves. You know, if they're just going to think this is the Wild West of growing cannabis and just do that kind of shit to people, they're going to find out real quick, man. I mean, this is how you get around to it. you have articles written in the paper about it. And then, people start getting pissed off. Someone like me that loves cannabis, hey, guess whose side I'm on? I'm on the side of this resident right here. That's my boy. And he doesn't need this behind his freaking house.
Is in 21 states.
Whoever allowed that?
137
they got this thing called zoning in my state. Zoning where, you have a zone where industry is allowed and then you've got residential zoning. You guys understand that? How did that happen?
I'm gonna use that. I've earned over $1 billion for my 1 trillion clients. That's $0.001.
Curaleaf is in 21 states and owns and operates 137 dispensaries and 26 cultivation sites, which is fine. Yeah, I'm all for industry to jump in, but what they did was they kicked us out when they jumped in. Is that right, man? We're the pioneers. We're the ones that started this shit. Where were fucking they? Who were they? Some of these guys are just getting in, man. They don't even know what they're doing. They just got money.
Yep. Surrounded by
They got some nerve.
That ain't right.
Anyway. Oh, this part is great. For Graber, it's not only a nuisance, but it's an issue of fairness. If we're having a party at midnight with loud music, someone can call the police and shut us down, she said. Why can they do whatever they want? Hey, Graber, I'm coming over. You sound like you got the Wild House over there. We're going to go hang out over at her house, man. She's partying all night. Woo! Party! Everybody go to Graber's house. She's advertising her wild midnight parties in the paper. I freaking love it, man. It gets better. This article gets better. All right, check this out.
Sour D for me.
Sour D? Oh, okay. It's time. Break time. Breaky. First smoke break. All right. No law regarding cannabis.
One SMF. Where are all the black folks?
Cheers, everybody.
This inequity really pisses me off.
I want to say cheers to Surrounded by Keith, Billy Ballantyne, and Rocks 1SMF
Surrounded
in the chat.
Keith.
Thank you guys for participating in the chat.
710 somewhere. Cheers.
Love you guys. Cheers.
Big MERK83. Cheers. ROX1SMF. Cheers.
Cheers, Rock. Cheers, Merc.
Paul H. My dad died this morning.
My mom just said back to his old self.
Day. Cheers.
Screaming my freaking head off.
Cheers.
Because I'm lighter, I'm more streamlined today. I'm more rage-ish. More streamlined for rage. My dad died this morning. Loud music day. I'm sorry, Paul. I'm sorry. How old was your dad?
MERK83. Oh, Paul, dude that blows. Condolences.
Or is this
ROX1SMF.
Is this like an anniversary of his death, bro? Your dad would have to be
Paul,
like...
I'm so sorry to hear that.
I'm assuming
Surrounded
your dad...
Keith. At Paul H, sorry for your loss, man.
What was your dad, like 20
Doc Holland Daisy.
when he had you? How old was your father
Paul.
when you were born?
Billy Ballantyne. I'm sorry about your dad, Paul.
Billy.
Mine's been gone a few months now. He was a real asshole.
My father and I didn't get along so great, that's for sure. Well, we do now. We get along great now. All right. Give me a second.
H. No, they don't want to bring vibe down.
Oh, no,
Cheers,
no, you're
everyone.
good. No. Let me tell you something. There's a difference between coming in here every day and dumping your bullshit on us, right? And, coming in and saying, hey, I lost a family member. Bro, that's totally acceptable, and we're here for that. That's one of the reasons we're here, to support each other. We did have somebody that used to do that, and he's no longer comes to the show. He used to come in here and he would just dump his bullshit. every fucking time. And I finally said something to him. I'm like, bro, we want to help and shit by being supportive, but this has gotten to the point where you really do bring the goddamn chat down every time you come in, and I'm sick of it.
Happened few
This
hours
shit's gonna
ago.
stop. And
Enjoying
he said
a
he wouldn't do
smoke.
it anymore, and he
Cheers.
did stop doing it. He lasted for a while after that. Anyway, let's get into this article, because like I said, it's a fantastic article. And it's mainly because I'm siding with the side of the residents, Okay, so on the east side of the plant, retired painting business owner Jeff Mazer has lived in his custom-built home for more than 20 years. Back when the property across the street was 4055
My dad has turned into an angry old narcissistic fuck. He is dead to M2.
Dude, we are totally...
Unless he mans up and apologizes to me.
We are totally going to Graber's house to party, bro. We know the address and everything. 4055 Britt Road was DeLeon's bromeliads and orchids, a family-owned nursery. The DeLeons received a license from the state in 2019 to grow and cultivate medical cannabis. In 2020, the property, along with the license, was purchased for $14 million by Green Acreage Real Estate Corporation. And of course, that their city, their company jingle is Green Acreage is the real estate corporation where the cannabis is great. Highest living, it's the place for me. Give me some cannabis, put it in my bong right now. That makes me want to smoke. That song made me want to smoke some cannabis.
Paul H.
No law regarding
Cheers,
cannabis.
everyone.
It's quarter of
Back
the hour.
show. Let's
Cheers.
smoke.
Cheers. Let's smoke. Memorial
Billy
bong rip for your
Valentine.
Father. Paul.
I remember.
Did you tell us how old your father was,
My
Paul?
leg exploded pus on a crowd of children, then my heart fell out of my ass and it killed a rare whooping crane. Nick Brown. Cheers. Big MERK83. Hell yeah, cheers. Paul H. 80 nay cheers. Surrounded by Keef. I'm taking care of my sick PS now. Giving Pops 1:1 THC/CBD for his latter stage Parkinsonism. It's a miracle medicine. Doc Hollandaisy.
Ducky.
Cheers. Love the jingle.
It's a miracle medicine. Huh. Right on, Keith. All right.
Big MERK83. Ring to ring, bro.
A company that specializes in investing in cannabis production. The company then leased the land to Curaleaf, which built the plant for its chain of dispensaries. Curaleaf did not return email requests for comment for this story. So now you can see they didn't, because they know they're in the wrong.
Lemon
They've got
here.
nothing to say. They're completely guilty. Now, I could help these people, but I don't like the fact that they thought it was okay to put their processing plant right across from somebody's street. And I don't want to help them. I don't need the money. And I don't want to offer assistance. These people have to learn to get along. And these morons knew nothing about growing cannabis. They just had a lot of money, and they found a place. They didn't think about it. They put no thought into it whatsoever. And they just, decided to disrupt a neighborhood. I don't care if this place gets shut the fuck down. I'm kind of rooting for that now. I don't even want to fucking help them. See, Curaleaf did not return email requests for comment for this story. When the Orlando Sentinel asked to speak with someone at the facility, a man who did not give his name or title came out and said, "We have nothing to say at this time." Mazer said he didn't know anything about the business that was moving in across from him until one night last year when he drove home from a visit out of state. "I smelled that stuff," he said, adding that it was like a blast to the face. "I asked my neighbors what that was, and they said we had a cannabis plant move in." On the day the Sentinel visited both Mazer and the residents of Lakes of Mount Dora, said the smell was undetectable. right? So, well, you can't smell it right now. I understand this. This is how the wind works. And it depends on where you are. It depends on what they're doing over there. And it depends on, what stage those plants are in, because sometimes they release a lot of odor and then that goes away sometimes. Today's not that bad, Mazer said. When the wind is blowing toward the east, it's just miserable. You don't even want to be outside.
Is night-infested jank. Surrounded by Keef. Maybe they fixed the prob.
Mazer said the sound is worse at night and in the early morning, a sentiment shared by the neighbors on the opposite side of the plant. Graber said nights were totally still before Curaleaf moved in. You could hear a pin drop, she said. At Lakes of Mount Dora, residents say the facility's lights also cut into the night, washing out the dark sky that was one of the attractions for moving there. Steven Schweizer showed pictures on his phone of a bright glow from the factory that looks like stadium lighting. Yeah, it's called grow lights, man. They got them running at night. All they have to do is put dark, is just put something dark over the roof. Black it out. It's not rocket science. They can have a shield that goes over and like a garage
Sounds
door.
like my neighbor's LAOS.
Cover it, uncovers it when you want to use the sun. It's so stupid. Especially when you're dealing with this kind of money. These guys have this kind of money that they're putting in and they don't think to cover the roof. The residents say their homeowners association doesn't allow them to have bright lighting and that there are a few street lights with the intention of keeping the starlight bright. Chrissy Stile, mayor of Mount Dora, said she first started receiving complaints a year ago, coming mostly from Lakes of Mount Dora and two other nearby divisions, Country Club in Mount Dora and Loch Leven. She says after a few calls, emails, and texts, she agreed to visit one of the Curaleaf's neighbors at 9:30 p.m. on a Sunday. When we first walked out onto his porch, I was thinking, this is what this guy's complaining about? Still, Stile said, after a few minutes, however, she said the noise became unbearable.
They have the money but zero common sense.
This is no way to sit out here and try to have a conversation. Over time, it's very, very bothersome. Stiles said she sympathized with the residents, but the facility was outside her jurisdiction. So she reached out to Commissioner Leslie Campione, who represents Lake County's District 4, where the facility resides. Several residents said they have sent emails or made calls to the county, but no one has ever talked to them about the issue. The county is unresponsive, John Himmelrich said, completely unresponsive. However, Stiley said Campione told her the county's hands are tied on the issue as well. Medical cannabis facilities are regulated by the state, preempted from city and county ordinances. Campione was unavailable for comment, according to county spokeswoman Sarah Lux, who added that the county had only received one emailed complaint. They've only received one email complaint. Okay. In July, Campione sent a letter to Secretary of Agriculture Nikki Fried's office seeking her assistance in identifying appropriate state regulations to help mitigate the impact of medical cannabis facilities on residents and communities across the state. Lux said it was unclear if Fried ever responded, but there is some question as to whether the Department of Agriculture would have jurisdiction over this facility. The Office of Medical Cannabis Use under Florida Department of Health oversees cannabis treatment centers. Okay. It's the Office of Medical Marijuana, just so you guys know. That's what it's called here in Florida. They're a bunch of racist cunts, too. The statutes governing medical cannabis cultivation, however, also indicate the Department of Agriculture must approve any pesticide use in the facility and work with the Department of Health on regulating the medical cannabis industry. God, I should go through this article and count how many times he used this racist word marijuana in this article. And then write a letter to the editor. And they'll post it. They'll put it in the paper. When the Sentinel contacted Fried's office about the matter, spokeswoman Erin Moffitt asked by emails if this was regarding a treatment center. When told it was a processing plant issue, Moffitt did not respond. They're all in cahoots. Fried, Miss wants to legalize cannabis, running for governor of Florida. This dumb bitch won't respond. to calls to her office because she's tied in with these fucking, with the industry, with the processing industry. Her husband's in that industry. What a fucking joke. In an unsigned email, the Department of Health, headed by Surgeon General Joseph Ladapo, said complaints concerning cannabis facility noise, lights, odor, etc. would not fall under Department of Health. It's just people passing the buck. That's all this is. Adding that it could be a county matter. Alexa Kuchta, a spokeswoman for the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, said in an email that the Agriculture Department has jurisdiction over cannabis processing facilities and that zoning complaints should be directed toward the county. How funny is this? However, due to the nature of these complaints, DEP is planning to visit the site to assess facility operations and ensure there are no DEP permitting requirements or compliance concerns with environmental regulations, she wrote. The residents want to make it clear that they aren't against the cannabis business. They want answers about how this kind of intrusive production was allowed to take over what was a quiet agricultural area. Yes, it's an excellent question. And it needs to be addressed. If they want this industry in this state, then they've got to be better, neighbor Judy Griswold said. They're not good neighbors. Wow, that's how they ended the article. Want to reach out? Email. You guys want to reach out? Get ready, write it down. Email tfrazier@orlandosentinel.com. Follow Tiff Frazier OS on Twitter. Hey, man, it's TFRASER @orlandosentinel.com. I'm going to count the number of times that he, including in the title, okay? Let me get a highlighter pen. I'll ask my mom if she's got one. Oh, Mumsy, Mumsy. Mom. You have a highlighter pen? Where would it be? Thanks.
_YT. I felt gay.
Thank you. All right. So, wow, my monitor turned off while I walked away. Okay. Here we go.
I'm seeing a bullish diamond pattern on BTC chart. Billy Ballantyne.
Nice, Keith.
My sun is rising and I'm in your same time zone. It's dark till 9 because of this cunt mountain and its obnoxious cock-sucking trees. Surrounded by Keith. Might have a breakout to the upside, 20K plus.
A bullish diamond pattern. Okay, Keith. Did you come up with that on your own? All right, here we go. We're going to go through this article, and everywhere we see the word, the racist word, we're going to highlight it. Turn to, and then they use that as the turn to word as well. And we should do this one as well. We're going to do both. And we'll address both authors simultaneously. We'll at both of them.
To be Keith. I'm comparing the pattern on the chart to the hundreds of examples of the diamond pattern.
Because you're crazy. Crazy, crazy. Okay.
Valentine. There's a turtleish ruby pattern on the dink doink chart.
It's like turtleish. Oh, all right.
Surrounded by Keef. LOL.
I'm going to use my glasses. We able to do this a lot faster. Oh, hello everyone. Sophisticated Nay reporting in. What am I doing? I'm looking for evil racist words. Yes, I can do that for you. I shall find them all. I'm a pit bull. I'm a pit bull, I say, when it comes to finding words. I'm a word wizard. I'm a wizard of words. Oh, I found one. He's going to be so pleased. Let's see what else we've got here. Oh, here's another. Oh, oh dear, oh dear. Oh, here's another. So nasty, these little racist terms they use. We'll hurry through this as quick as we can. Oh, I hope I'm getting paid for every single one of these.
Alan Daisy. Beazle.
Oh yes, the beazle. Some sort of creature, the beazle.
Surrounded by Keef. It's fucking nice out right now. 72 degrees in the desert.
Okay, this will be T. Fraser, Tfraser, at orlandosentinel.com. That is who we shall email. You could email him too. This article is full of racist terminology. This is shameful. This is shameful. It never seems to end. Sickening. The racism in this article. Sickening.
What's the word with Ian? Are you anywhere near the path?
Yes, could definitely come to Orlando. Not a good thing. Not a good thing. I have banana trees I just planted. They'll be gone. They haven't set their roots yet. I'll have to stake them really well. Oh, this racism. It's sickening. Look at all of this racism. More racism. More racism. More racism. The racist word just kind of jumps out at you. It just jumps out off the page at you. I'm getting really good at spotting it. Okay, that's it. We're also highlighting the word pot. That is negative. Oh, that was a lot. There's a lot of racism in that article. You agree? And then, of course, this one has its share of racism as well. Here, I'll show you the whole page. I'll show you the whole entire page. Oh, yes, of course. Of course, of course. I don't need my glasses.
Colin Daisy.
See all that.
I agree.
Wow. Can you believe that, man? They even use it as the word to find the article with. The keyword. And then, don't forget the front page had a little bit of that going on too. There and there. So, I'll address both authors because they both work for the Orlando Sentinel, and I'll add up all of the words from both articles together, and we'll just use that one figure. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 there. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 39, 40, 41, 42.
I would call their bosses.
42. No. This is just a level. This is just ignorance. I'm going to teach them. They just don't know. They don't deserve to be fired. They just need to know that they exhibited 42 instances of racism, and they need to understand why it's racist and how that can easily be fixed by just using the word cannabis. And that will also further the cause of getting access to everybody. Absolutely. Using that word helps. Using any other word hurts. It's simple, basic, psychology, basically. When you're using negative terms for something, people have a negative view of it. When you use positive terms, it gives them a positive view of it.
I'm not saying to get them in trouble. To tell them their employees need a lesson.
Yeah, well, I'll just do a letter to the editor and address both of them, and I'll at them, and so they'll get a copy of it.
It's like Star Wars. Fear leads to hate. Hate leads to racism. Racism leads to suffering.
So we can at T. Frazier and we can at S. Maxwell. No, that's the wrong one. Not S. Maxwell. That's who my mom was. This author's name was Jeffrey Schweers. And Jeffrey Schweers doesn't give a contact. Okay, there is no contact, so we'll just say his name. And Trevor Frazier.
Colin Daisy. I totally heard Yoda's voice from Big Merc.
And I'll send them. I'll write an email, but I'll do it off when I'm off the show.
It'll be Keith.
It'll be easy. It'll be a short email. But I don't want to neglect you guys anymore, man. Let's get high. I'm starting to feel a lot better. Oh, boy. I'm wondering how much weight I can drop. I want to kind of use this as a opportunity to lose weight, you know?
To be Keith. Happy belated 420.
Happy 420. Dude, I grew this shit.
MERK83.
I grew this shit, and it's smoother, tastier than any dispensary stuff that I've had. This stuff, this cherry pie. And the smoke is nice and thick for smoke rings. It's everything I want out of a cannabis strain. Cherry pie. If you can get a hold of it, that is the one, man. It is so great. All right. No law regarding cannabis. We'll say 420, right? Late. Cheers.
To be Keith. Cheers all.
Smooth as silk.
Valentine. I have to fix skydive suits so skydivers can put them on. Fuck them up really bad. Give them back to me, so I can do the same tedious horseshit again and again. Yay. ROX1SMF. Okay guys, the old folks need tending, so ciao for now.
No. You hashtag keep it open and bring us with you. Hashtag keep it open.
To be Keith. Ciao rocks hashtag keep it open. Big MERK83. Hashtag keep it open hashtag Bluetoothy phonies. ROX1SMF. Kisses. Big MERK83. Hashtag take us with you.
Hashtag keep it open.
Doc Hollandaisy. Hashtag keep it open. ROX1SMF. KV, you're in my ear.
Submit a letter to the editor of Orlando. If you guys want to do this, if you guys want to send a letter to them, and you can, it's insight@orlandosentinel.com. So you can send it to them and send it to that author and at least write the other author's name in there.
Hour went fast.
If you guys want to do that, insight@orlandosentinel.com.
Big MERK83. Hashtag tour for the poor.
They've also got a technical difficulties. Oh, letters must be exclusive to the Orlando Sentinel.
MERK83. Hashtag 2-hour show.
Letters should be no more than 250 words. Okay. I could say it really quick. you know? Okay. I mean, the letter is going to take a second to write. And since people are leaving, I might as well write the damn letter. You know? Just write the damn letter. Insight at OrlandoSentinel.com. That's simple, right? Exclusive to them. You can't send it. You can't add it also to the other guys. So you just have to send one letter to them.
Let's do it.
Subject. Cannabis articles.
Nick Brown.
Using
hashtag keep it open, people.
Terminology. Yeah. That should be pretty easy. Dude, why are you such idiots? God, I fucking hate you. All right, cool. What we counted it, what was it, 40, what was it, 48? You guys? How many times did they use the racist terminology in that, or negative terminology to refer to cannabis? Did I say it was 48? No one ever said. Damn it. I don't know. I can't remember what the number was. Does anybody remember what the number of
MERK83.
when I counted them up?
Can you put my email as a proxy voice to back your opinion, kinda like a petition? Billy Ballantyne.
48.
Let AI do it.
Okay.
Like MailChimp.com, that would be hilarious. Doc Hollandaisy. 48, pretty sure. Big MERK83. Let's get all the trendies.
Okay. This was on page 4. And this is the well, it was page 3 and 4. The local pages 3
Daisy.
and 4.
I remember it was almost 50, right?
And 4 of the Sunday edition of the local and state.
How to be Keith. I'm watching now when he
section.
counts.
Okay.
Surrounded by Keith. 42.
Keith, you say it was 42? Okay, I'll count them again. How long could it take me to count to 42, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Surrounded
6.
by Keith. 42 instances of racism. Doc Hollandaisy.
6.
Recount.
There's 6 on the front. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19,
Big
20,
MERK
21, 22, 23, 24, 25,
42.
26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. So I had said 42, but it's 43. 43. The word in quotes, I put marijuana in quotes.
Valentine. That's the answer to life, the universe, and everything. 40. 2. Big MERK83. 4T tree. Big MERK83.
God, I'm making so many typos. Okay. The word marijuana was invented by racist mogul William Randolph Hearst to use America's racism against cannabis. The word pot was first used to describe
I feel a clip coming.
A toilet. Sunday Edition Local State section from. Okay, and those two authors were, the first one was, his name was Trevor. Jeffrey Schweers was the first one. Jeffrey. And was Trevor? Was the second one? Fraser.
Freaking Oracle show.
Fraser.
That drink with Delta 8 gave me a nice body high. Was very relaxed.
All right, so there it is. I think I've written. Hey, Oracle, how are you doing, buddy? Delta 8 gave me a nice body high. Was very relaxed. Oh, good, man. I'm glad. How long did it last? I counted 43. So this is the article that I wrote. It just says, I counted 43 uses of negative or racist terminology to refer to cannabis in the two articles on pages 3 and 4 of the Sunday edition of the local
Oracle show. 2 to 3 HRS and the slowly faded.
That sounds like normal edible. That's good. It sounds like what a regular cannabis edible will do for you. So why not just have regular cannabis edible, you know? Seems like the only benefit of you doing that is you're risking whatever fucking chemicals they're using to derive the Delta 8 from, you know?
Hey, freaking Oracle is here. PSSH Unreal.
Joey Maloney. It was 43. It was 40. No, it would have been like 42 with 2 pots. They used the word pot twice. But, or no, 41 with 2 pots. 41 with 2 pots.
Blue 313 Sexton. GM. The freaking Oracle show. Because our laws here are at 10% only, no law with Delta 8.
Your laws suck my dick with your fucking 10%. Fuck your laws. Okay? That's no slight at you because I love you.
Billy Ballantyne. Delta number 2.
Fuck your stupid
Poop
10%
cannabis.
laws. Whatever the fuck
I hate
that
it.
is.
The thought of it, and clear head it leaves me with. Icky.
Delta number 2. All right, so let's get through this. I
Mr.
want to read this letter.
313 Sexton.
Is it really?
Cheers, NF.
I can't keep up with you. Okay. No law regarding cannabis. Cheers, Bad Blue Jaws. Can't leave you hanging.
The freaking Oracle show. They re-changing 5HE laws coming G up though.
Okay.
Doc Hollandaisy. Hey freaking Oracle.
Fuck laws regarding cannabis.
Billy Ballantyne. When will we get 5G cannabis?
5G cannabis. Okay, so here's my article. I counted 43 uses of negative or racist terminology to refer to cannabis in the 2 articles on pages 3 and 4 of the Sunday edition of the Local and State section from Jeffrey Schweers and Trevor Frazier, from authors Jeffrey Schweers and Trevor Frazier. The word marijuana was invented by racist mogul William Randolph Hearst to use America's racism against cannabis. The word pot was first used to describe a toilet.
Doc need you to come on the show and talk about food truck life.
Neither of these terms are conducive to the cannabis movement.
Doc Hollandaisy. Freaking Oracle did a 12-hour live stream. Champ.
He's a monster. While I was in bed with fucking stomach flu. The word pot was first used to describe a toilet. Neither of these terms are conducive to the cannabis movement. Please consider using the word cannabis in the future. What do you guys think?
To be Keefe. Cannabis movement. Hollandaisy. Can you read it one more time for the clip? Surrounded by Keefe. Maybe rephrase that without movement. J. Inman. Hello, nay, and all trendies, cheers and good morning.
Why?
The freaking Oracle show. I know Mary and Juan A from Mexico.
You want me to put, don't do that shit in my chat, freaking Oracle. Do you want me to, put cannabis legalization movement, Keith, instead of cannabis movement? I think that makes more sense. So, how was that? Okay,
Cool.
All right. The word pot was first used to describe. Neither of these terms are conducive to the cannabis legalization movement. Please consider using the word cannabis in the future. You know, unless you're not trying to help, you know, that is unless Orlando Sentinel is not on the side of legalization. You know, I could put that in there too. That'd be hilarious. You know, disregard all of this if you guys are anti-cannabis, you know.
To be key.
So
very nice and concise.
Yeah, all right. That's all right.
Billy Ballantyne. The stream's on ADVR, you can just back it up, make the clip, then go back to real time.
No, I'll go ahead and I'll read it again. You want me to read it again? It's just a couple sentences. Okay, here it goes. Here, I'll even mute the chat. All right, here we go. I counted 43 uses of negative or racist terminology to refer to cannabis in the 2 articles on pages 3 and 4 of the Sunday edition of the Local and State section from authors Jeffrey Schweers and Trevor Frazier. The word marijuana was invented by racist mogul William Randolph Hearst to use America's racism against cannabis. The word pot was first used to describe a toilet. Neither of these terms are conducive to the cannabis legalization movement. Please consider using the word cannabis in the future. I mean, that's just silliness that they even talk like that. It's just silly. You can just back it up, make the clip, and go back to real time. I put my stamp of approval, even though you don't need my approval for shit, sir.
Ballantyne. Very nice, informative, and clean.
Yeah, I bet they'll put it in the paper, too. I bet they're going to put that in the paper because they're very controversial, man. They always put, when someone disagrees with something they say, they love to put it in there. And that's two of their authors, man, writing all that shit. I'm not attacking the story. I'm attacking the words they choose to use, you know? I mean, I side with the residents of that second story that we read. For sure. Hey, how do all of you guys feel about that? Do you side with the processing plant or do you side with the neighborhood? You know? And I would say that if that processing plant can't please those neighbors, they need to be shut down. The neighbors were there first. And what the hell is an industrial zone doing so close to a freaking, you know? Why not put a petroleum processing plant right next to them, you know? Or a nuclear plant right next to them, you know? How do you guys feel? Where are you guys at with that? We do have the Brianna Joy and SABS story. We can go back to that one. I wouldn't mind, actually, because I am very interested in talking about communism with you guys. So,
to be Keith. Same as you, they needs to fix their shite.
There's just so many problems with denying that communism exists. Because if you deny it exists, how do you champion it? So let's define what communism is, right? It inspires class warfare. It's a form of government that encourages class warfare and provides the form of work that the government deems appropriate for each individual, what they're suited for.
Good clip, brother.
You know, and if she wants to say, yeah, well, they're not in China, they don't tell you what kind of work you have to do and blah, blah, blah. Dude, I've seen some sick shit in China where they raised little kids since they were babies to do certain things. You guys ever seen that shit? Sounds like communism to me.
To be Keith.
I could go find a video.
The government gave us jobs, homes, money, but little food, LOL breadlines.
Let's talk about North Korea. Let's talk about Vietnam. You know? What kind of government are they then? SABBY? What you doing, girl? Looking all good. I love SABBY. Man, I gotta disagree with her on this right here.
So, according to the definition of communism, there is actually no true communist country in the world. Not one.
Surrounded by
not Venezuela, not Cuba. There is no true communist country in the world. This is the problem. Like, this is why people have
Wait, SABBY, at that point, why don't you say what part of communism these countries aren't satisfying for your audience and for my sake? Okay, so just tell me in the future, if you ever see this video, maybe someone will make a clip and send it to you, me right here. And just be like, hey, SABBY, so, okay, what are these countries not doing to satisfy communism's true definition?
To be Keith.
Okay, and make that point.
China isn't completely communist. They have a form of capitalism.
Right? Says you. I mean, maybe ask the people that are in internment camps in China if they feel like they're in a communist country. You know, maybe ask people whose religion doesn't go with what their country does, and then those people are put in prison in China. Ask them if they feel like they're in a communist country with the capitalism. Yeah, I got news for you, man. Capitalism riding on top of communism doesn't lessen the communism. It just makes it more powerful.
Own research, because you see the lies, they just...
Communism is opposed to capitalism.
They're calling people like Nancy Pelosi a communist now. That's how bad this has gotten. Aye.
Okay. Nancy Pelosi being called a communist is nothing new. I mean, it's basically everybody in the right, all of the Trump people. They all say socialism, communism, blah, blah, blah. It's all they ever fucking say. what she just said, though, has nothing to do with the claim she made that there's not a single communist country in existence. And I just want to know why these countries are failing to be communism.
Anywho, let's go back to her.
The way that we see it is alerting Fox News and not city or state officials about a plan to abandon children fleeing communism on the side of the street is not burden sharing.
See, notice how she mentioned communism. She mentioned again, she mentioned it twice. So when it comes to the word communism, and we're going to talk about this in the call-in segment tonight, both the Democrats and the Republicans demonize the word and they misuse it.
I got to get the chat over here.
Did everyone hear that? When it comes to the word communism, both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party demonize the word and they misuse it. That's on purpose.
That is not the definition that we see of burden sharing. It is a cruel, premeditated political stunt. That is not what that is what they are doing. And so we're always happy to have conversations about ways to further improve border processing, and we could be doing more.
Joining us now to discuss his reaction is co-founder of the Revolutionary Blackout Network, Nick Cruz. Glad to have you with us, Nick.
Okay, the freaking Oracle show. Maybe it's the way society has moved.
So he's wearing a collared shirt. I don't know if it's a long sleeve. But it's just so casual. Oh my God, I don't know what he's wearing. I just wish he had put on a jacket and a tie, man. You know?
We want to ask you about this question of how much communism is really to blame for the immigrants who have chosen to leave Venezuela. Is the press secretary here accurately describing
Tiger Woods?
All right. Look, I want to listen to this question. I want to listen to the whole basis for this whole the debate. Okay, so she's going to set it up right here.
More.
Joining us now to discuss his reaction is co-founder of the
Made the clip for SABBY.
Thank you, Doc.
Revolutionary Blackout Network, Nick Cruz. Glad to have you with us, Nick.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, here we go.
We want to ask you about this question of how much communism is really to blame for the immigrants who have chosen to leave Venezuela. Is the press secretary here accurately describing the motives for so many people leaving the country? What's been going on there?
So that's the basis for the question they just asked Nick. And my response would be, from Nick, would be like, well, I can't speak for those people. I don't know what their motives were for leaving their country. It could be any number of things. It might not be the political system. If I were Nick, that's what I would say. But for some reason, he seems to go off on this really long...
To be Keith. Communism means the state controls the means of production or some bullshit LOL. Doc Hollandaise. Did he just wake up? Look at that.
Well, the beard is a little unkempt looking, I must say. I might offer a little beard balm for him. But I'm not going to go after a man on his beard. Actually, Nick, I dig it. I like the beard. However, I would say this. That shirt that you're wearing, it's just a little too casual for going on the Hill. So go look at how Sagar and Jetty used to dress. Their guests, you know, look at all the guys from the Hill, and you just, you know, when you go into the lion's den, son,
Lewis,
you know, be prepared.
Gotta run, nay. Getting on a plane. Have a great rest of the show.
Have a safe flight, baby girl. All right. Mwah.
My first reaction when I saw that, I was thinking, like, is that Sarah Huckabee Sanders? There's literally no difference there between the Biden administration messaging on this issue and Trump's messaging on this issue as well.
So we're not talking about the messaging. Okay. We wanted to know what you felt the reason was for those people leaving their country. That's what she just asked you. And then you start talking about the messaging. So let's just keep listening to this.
And I want to chime in here and say Nick is 100% spot on right here. It doesn't matter if the press secretary is the press secretary for a Democrat president or Republican president.
No one's talking about that. Why even bring the point up? Why even bring the point up?
And their messages are the same depending on certain issues.
Why bring the point
up?
There's
no difference between a Jen Psaki or a Stephanie Graham or the Kareem Jean-Pierre.
And we all breathe oxygen and we all drink water.
The same way that U.S. foreign policy does not change it doesn't change between presidents at all. And the idea you're going to blame communism instead of U.S. intervention, all three of those countries she named are countries that the United States have put sanctions on.
Okay, now he makes a great point. He makes a great point right there. So he's blaming that the communism is not working in these countries because America cuts them off and does horrible things to them with sanctioning. We all know that those are acts of war, what America does to communist countries. We all know these communist countries exist. But the truth is, what he's saying is 100% correct. Okay, he's making an excellent point. He should have started with that, because that is the point. Is don't blame the political system there until you find out what our sanctions have done. Great point. This is when you let the other guy talk.
Interfere with. And this is kind of the same thing that Chomsky was saying as well. When you look at Donald Trump and you look at Joe Biden, they mostly have the same foreign policy.
You already said that. You already said that.
I just want to chime in here for a second and say, you notice how when they demonize like communism in reference to those countries, which I already said there's no true communist country in the world, but you notice when they do demonize it.
Can we just rewind what she just said? Sabby, girlfriend, you know how I feel about you. I love this girl. But can we just listen to her say this very, very hypocritical statement, maybe several times?
I just want to chime in here for a second and say, you notice how when they demonize like communism in reference to those countries, which I already said there's no true communist country in the world, reference to those countries, which I already said there's no true communist country in the world, communism in reference to those countries, which I already demonize like communism and demonize like communism. It's how when they demonize like communism in reference to those countries, which I already said there's no true communist country in the world. It's how when they demonize like communism.
Sabby, how can they demonize communism if there is no communism in the world? This, what you just said, is a non sequitur. I don't know what that means, but I think I just used it correctly. I don't know. Maybe somebody smarter than me could tell me if I said that.
Those countries, which I already said there's no true communist country in the world. But you notice when they do demonize it, the people leaving, like why they're leaving, notice they never mention what Nick just told you. Notice they never mention that the U.S. government has put sanctions on those countries and made it very difficult for those people economically in those countries because of those sanctions. They never mention that part. And most people you talk to, especially if they're not really following the news like that, most people you talk to have no idea what is really going on economically in those countries.
From seeking regime change in Venezuela, sponsoring genocide in Yemen, closing up with Saudi Arabia, funding and shielding the apartheid state of Israel, their hardline stance on Iran, and escalating with China. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. How can you blame an economic model for the failures and what happened to the citizens when you guys are illegally seizing their assets and not allowing them to sell their oil on the international market? You had the Bank of England, they just had a sham trial where they said, we were like, oh, well, the $1 billion in gold that we stole from Venezuela, we had the right to do that. And it's very telling that you see the same colonial powers, whether it be the UK, Germany, and the United States.
Again, I'm going to pause right here and just say he's making a great point. He is blaming American sanctions, UK sanctions, thieving, stealing from these countries that oppresses them. Instead of working with these countries and helping them, we decide to do NATO, and shit like that.
Posing their imperial conquest ambitions on the global south. They think they have the right to ruin the lives of Venezuelans, for example, and other countries because they reject their capitalist imperialist political agenda. The Venezuelan people 100% knows what's going on. That's why Nicolas Maduro is stronger than ever. And this is another example of U.S. sanctions failing. They know the United States government is trying to take them down to install far right-wing fascists that is mostly white, that is mostly bourgeoisie, that has been waging an active class war against Venezuela. When you look at Nicolas Maduro and the socialist revolution that started 20 years ago, that is mostly supported by Black, indigenous, and poor people. And you have the white bourgeoisie who in charge of the media, who run all the companies. They have been waging a class war backed by the United States, backed and supported by the United States.
So Nick is letting you know right there that even when it comes to those issues in those countries, class is still a factor. There is a class divide when it comes to what they support and who they support. I'm so glad.
So maybe she's saying that the lack of a class system is why they're not communist, but it doesn't say no classes. It says class warfare. It says communism encourages class warfare. Doesn't mean the classes don't exist. So it seems pretty communistic to me. That's exactly what communism preaches. Do you guys want to see the definition of communism? Let's look it up really fast. Look, I'll show you guys. Okay, there it is. All right, here it is. Right here, okay? You guys see that? Communism, a political theory derived from Karl Marx advocating class war. So if there's having class war in these countries, that's what communism said they should be doing. That's communism. How do you not see that?
Communism doesn't work. It corrupts just like the rest of the isms.
Everything, you're right, correct. All government sucks.
That he mentioned that on Rising. I'm so glad, like, you guys don't know. I was like, you know, Nick's not related to me, but I honestly, when I watched this clip, I was sitting back like a proud sister, and I was like, yay, baby! I was just like, yeah! I'm like, tell it. And you can tell right now by the expression on Robbie's face, he just looks so
He looks like he's getting cocked.
Robbie has this look on his face like, what is happening? Like,
Sabby makes a good point there.
Oh, man.
So it's the height of irony, the Democrats.
It's a DERS. Bro, that is such a DERS.
If you look at the coups they sponsor in these countries
that's a DERS looking at another crazy atom plan. That's a DERS looking at a crazy atom plan.
Listed that January 6th is child play compared to what we do to Venezuela. We back Bolsonaro, who used to send death squads into Venezuela to assassinate and kill Maduro supporters. You had the hard far-right fascists in Venezuela that was setting left-wing supporters of Nicolas Maduro on fire in the streets. These are the people that we support. So the idea that you're going to blame an economic model instead of our actions is ridiculous on face value.
That's right. And so look at, you can see, it's kind of funny too, because we were talking about people's facial expressions. Like Nick just killed it. So like Bree has a little smile there. Like Bree has this look on her face like, Robbie, are you ready now? Robbie's like, okay, let me go ahead and see if I can take this to task. But yeah, you really can't blame the people from those countries. The fact that the United States government has pretty much destroyed the economic systems in those countries. And then we want to blame the people for leaving those countries wanting to come here.
Okay, look, I also oppose many of the policies you just mentioned, the support for regime change. I would get rid of all these sanctions too. But like, let's not gloss over the long history of corruption and political persecution by left.
No, because you just glossed over everything that Nick just said. And that's not right, because Nick made such strong, valid points. They commanded a response. You went right past them, and now you're talking about
regimes in all of these countries as well, under policies that have totally immiserated Cuba and Venezuela.
I have to pause right here at this moment. Yipper99 says, tap out, Robbie, tap out. I had to pause at this moment because as soon as, and JB probably felt this way too, I think JB's in the chat, as soon as Nick made that smile, I was like, oh, Robbie, he coming for your ass now. I was like, yeah, he is coming for you. You don't even know what he's thinking right now, but he's about to tear you apart. It's coming. It's coming.
It's on and on and on. I think it's laughable to say, oh, it's all the U.S.'s fault.
So Cuba has a higher life expectancy than the United States, a higher literacy rate, a much better healthcare system, despite the fact that the United States stole billions of dollars from them. So I'm asking you, Robbie, what's the excuse for the United States? Of course, there are always missteps that governments make, but the United States is the richest empire.
That was a mistake right there when he made that laugh.
No. It wasn't a mistake right there. Because what Nick just said was laughable when there's 96 million deaths under communism. You can't deny it. And to just sit there and act like it's not a thing, it's not like he didn't have a point to laugh. It was laughable. So go back and listen to him, what Nick says before the laugh.
The United States stole billions of dollars from them. So I'm asking you, Robbie, what's the excuse for the United States? Of course, there are always missteps that governments make, but the United States is the richest.
Of course, there's always missteps that governments make. 96 million aren't missteps, bro. 96 million, there's something wrong there. Okay? So he's got a point to laugh, Sabby. I'm just saying. This is called team playing here. This is what she's doing. She's playing on her team now. She's totally not paying attention to just what happened. She's in denial about communism too. She says it doesn't exist. Now she's going to defend it.
That was a mistake right there. When he made that laugh, Robbie made that laugh. Watch. Because see, Nick right now, Nick is still being, pretty chill.
Steps that governments make, but the United States is the richest.
It was a good time to laugh, and I would have laughed too.
He has this look on his face.
I would have been like, yeah, 96 million mistakes. I would have been like, yeah, 96 million mistakes, bro.
Does this guy really think that he's smarter than me?
That's a lot of times to make a mistake, bro.
God, how dare he come on here and try to tell me about history? You see what I mean? You see the smirk?
Yeah,
but he's about to get
it's very Durzish.
Go at it, Nick.
He's got the duck lips going.
That we've ever seen.
It's fucking
when
awesome.
Outside children live in poverty in this country. If you look at Skid Row, I am asking you, what is the excuse for the United States? You have Venezuela, you have Cuba, you have all these countries that has been the victim of U.S. economic war that you guys call sanctions. Sanctions is seized warfare. You guys locked out Venezuela from the international market.
Did you hear that?
Their economic system.
He said sanctions exceed warfare. So, what I say is sanctions are war. Sanctions are war. You're cutting the supplies off for a country. That's what you do in a war. You cut the supply chain off for your enemies. You bomb their fucking bridges. You bomb their plants that are making their weapons.
A record amount of income inequality in this country that is higher than the era of serfdom. So, Robbie, what's the excuse for capitalists? Who's sanctioning us?
It's a good point. That's a good point. It's a good point. Nobody is sanctioning us, right?
I can't. It's like, tap out, Robbie, tap out. Seriously. It's a good question, right? No country has sanctions on us. So Nick brought up perfect points. Why do we have a Skid Row in this country? Multiple ones, actually.
Everywhere.
Why do we have a homelessness problem in this country?
Everywhere.
Why do we have kids, so many kids growing up in poverty in this country? And they talking about, Democrats said they lift up half the kids out of poverty. They even finished the whole child tax credit. They had to cut that short. Why do we have the economic problems that we have in this country? Why do we have the poverty issue that we have in this country? What's the excuse for the failure that we have in this country and nobody puts sanctions on us? It's capitalism. That's the reason for it. And that's the point that Nick is trying to drive home. You're going to criticize the people that are coming from countries like Venezuela. You're going to criticize those people. Their economic system has been destroyed by the United States government.
That's a good point, but let's just say there's, you know, I don't know how many Venezuelans are coming in the United States. I don't know.
When it comes to the failures that we have here right home, what's the excuse? There's no sanctions on us. We failed ourselves. The corporations failed the people in this country. They got greedy. Like I told you, they sent the jobs overseas. Think about that. Think about it.
They sent the.
Nick goes on.
Think about that. They sent the jobs overseas. I don't understand that. The corporations sent the jobs overseas. Oh, so she's saying we've created, because these people don't have jobs, because there's no, you know, factory jobs. They can't put together iPhones and shit, because we sent it all to China and Taiwan, Japan. They're making all their.
Daisy.
Those are communist countries.
Another clip out on the Twitter sphere.
I don't know if we're sending outsourcing to China and they're communist, isn't that helping them?
I don't think Skid Row, I mean, the collapse of American cities under progressive liberal democratic regime.
Look at Bree's face.
Yeah, well,
surrounded by Keith.
Once again,
yeah, we made China.
This is a right-wing talking point, and he's able to score some points right here.
Oh my God, I don't know what to say. This is so funny.
Well, Sabby, what you should say is that this guy is actually making a point and not sit there and try to distract your audience from what's being said. You know, I don't understand the team playing. It's so vulgar. Ugh. It's disgusting.
Of Trump policies or capitalist policies. I mean, we get to if it's so great in Cuba, why are they fleeing here? Why are they crossing shark-infested waters?
Well, Robbie, the point that Nick is making.
I couldn't believe Robbie said shark-infested. He actually.
I don't understand what the reference to shark-infested waters was, and I couldn't hear what was being said because Nick spoke over him. So I don't even know what was said right there.
Used the shark,
and that's the second time I've heard it.
That was kind of funny. He used the shark-infested waters. So Bree's gonna come in now, and she's gonna, she's gonna try to do it, I guess, in Robbie language.
I don't understand why shark-infested waters is some kind of point that Sabby's seizing on, like it's like some kind of low blow or something. I don't get it. I'm just saying. Is that a real laugh, Sabby?
Because I seriously think Robbie is sitting there thinking to himself, who is this young dude that came on here basically to think he know all this stuff? I never heard of this. I don't know this guy. This guy's not an academic. I don't know. You see, this is why some people won't debate Nick. This is exactly why. Because they don't want to be embarrassed.
Is that it? Look, if you really think it's the economic systems in Cuba or Venezuela.
They're literally debating him right now, Sabby. They've got him on the hill, and there's a guy on there debating him right now.
That are so destructive. Why not lift sanctions, let them sink or fall on their own merit, and then we can have a legitimate conversation about whether communism fails. But what so many people on the left are frustrated with is that there has never been a communist or socialist government that has been allowed to freely test the model without the economic war, I love how you put it there, Nick, against them that basically...
Did you see the eye shift from Robbie? Watch one more time. I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's just kind of funny. Watch Robbie's face.
Without the economic war,
He's just got a funny
put it there,
face.
Nick, against them that basically rigs the game from the start.
There's also never been a communist regime that doesn't imprison political dissenters, cause deliberate families,
or
kill millions of people.
Are you saying that we don't? Are you saying that we don't?
I'm not. Are you saying that the communists don't? No, I've indicted all of our policy. This is why we can never have honest conversation.
I mean, we're doing it to Julian Assange. We did it to Chelsea Manning. We did it to Edward Snowden. And I'm sure there's a few other ones I can't name. Once again, he makes a very good point. There's a lot more silencing of political dissenters under communism, and he laughs about it. And Sabby over there, the team player, is going to act like he's not making a point and make fun of his face. And yet, when you really listen to what's being said, you find out it's not this giant own that Sabby pretends it to be. He makes a valid point. You want to compare political prisoners under communism to political prisoners under capitalism? I got news for you, Nick. Communism's got you fucking beat. Bad. They bust down your fucking doors and drag you to prison, and you're lucky if you're not beaten on the way.
I will criticize everything that we do, everything the capitalist West governments do, and they say, "Oh, so you're not criticizing them?" I'm saying all the sanctions are bad.
Wait a minute,
and then
I had to pause it there. Look at this. I had to pause it. Robbie's facial expression is too funny. Look at it.
He's dursing it. What can you say? The dude's got a funny
Nick
fucking durs face.
Bree is smiling.
Durs.
you turn around and excuse political repression under dog-like communist regimes that have killed millions and starved millions. It's ridiculous.
Wait a minute, Robbie.
It's insulting.
Nobody here, but we didn't bring up the political oppression because I think the observation that
because you don't want to talk about it. You don't want to concede that it's true.
I'm literally trying to, if you just let me get the sentence out here, Robbie. I think what Nick and I are pointing to is that political repression, all kinds of authoritarian abuses, those are things that exist around the world regardless of political orientation.
But you want to, hey, Brianna, excuse me, but when you start counting the numbers to political prisoners under democracy towards political prisoners under communism, it's not even on the same scale, man. It's just, he makes an excellent point, and you're going to still sit here and act like it's not a point.
I brought up the overwhelming majority of countries in this world are capitalist, and most of the bad things that are happening in this world are happening under capitalism. However, capitalism is never blamed for the bad things that happen in a country. Everything that happens in a communist country, per Karine Jean-Pierre's statement, is attributed to communism. You're talking about per capita. America has the largest number of people incarcerated, living in cages, in jails, and anywhere else in the world. Not per capita, but period. Despite not being anywhere near the largest country in the world, we have more people in jails than China. And you can say and dispute Chinese numbers and what's true and what's false and blah, 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 blah. But nobody can dispute the fact that we have an unprecedented and enormous mass incarceration problem.
Yeah, but when you have the type of freedoms that you allow the population in America, you're going to have people violating those laws more freely. They're going to be incarcerated because they have the ability to go out there and break these laws. Now, there's a lot of people under communism, they won't even try that shit, man. You know? Probably 9/10 of the crimes that people try to pull off under democracy, under this kind of a government, people wouldn't even dream of doing under communism because they know what's going to happen to them, and the penalties are going to be more severe. It's not a point. These people think they're making a point, and that's why this guy is laughing.
But the point still stands. If you think that
he knows that any right winger that watches this is totally gonna side with him. A right-winger, definitely, because they're going to be completely anti-communism. But if you start taking it point for point, you want to start counting the numbers and throwing them out there, these two are fighting a losing battle, you know, against the facts that this guy knows about communism.
And socialism are such a unmitigated disaster. Why is it that they have not been allowed to go ahead and run their own countries into the ground without American political interference?
That's a good point.
That right there is the golden question.
That's a good point.
If people believe that communism, socialism is such a bad thing, if that's what the U.S. believes, then if that's the case,
was the USSR was communism?
The communists
or no?
were also atheists. Correlation doesn't equal causation.
Was the USSR? Well, you know, I know we've sanctioned Russia plenty of times, so I'm not going to say we haven't.
Why aren't you letting those countries explore that? And if their economic system fails, well, then it just fails. That's for their country. Let them do what they want to do with their economic system in their country.
It's fair.
Why haven't they been given the opportunity to even allow it to fail?
Well, maybe because they're worried that it's going to prosper and that would make their democracies look bad, Sabby. Let's move on.
And then you think about the McCarthy era when there was a lot of fear around communism.
Why?
And you think about some of the things that people said back then, which was, we have to stop it now because communism can spread. They talk about it like it's like smallpox or something. I don't know. Right. It's really weird when you go back and you read about the McCarthy era. Very strange. What are they so afraid of? I would say
maybe they were afraid of the fact that Russia was imprisoning people back then as well for political dissenting.
Capitalism is more fearful. You should be afraid of that. You should be more afraid of capitalism than you are of communism. That's how I feel. Because I know a lot of people that have lost, not everything, but a lot of people that have lost their jobs, people that have lost their homes under a capitalist system right here in the United States.
Communism goes against what America stands for.
It sucks. I don't know what the answer is to that. But, you know, unfortunately, I know a lot of people, right, just like Sabby, that are doing really well. They've all got homes, families, jobs. They're living very comfortably. I know a lot of people. So, you know, you can say that, you know, a lot of people that are doing poorly under democracy, under capitalism, and I understand that, but just know that there's a counter narrative to that as well.
Let's go on.
We shouldn't have American political interference. Again, I agree. I say it every time on this show, but they would not be thriving on their own and have never thrived on their own.
So you realize that U.S. state policy, when they put Cuban embargo on there, was to destroy the economy because they didn't want to show an alternative to capitalism. If you capitalists are so confident that communism will fail, why won't you leave it alone, Robbie? Why won't you guys leave it alone?
I mean, I'm not in charge of the policy in the country, man. I would rescind all of the sanctions tomorrow.
Look, I can explain one aspect of this. I've noticed that when the United States decided to intervene with the Russian pipeline, the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, and I said, look, you know, trying to keep another country from prospering and doing well for whatever reasons is wrong. We discussed it on this show more than a year ago when Ted Cruz was jumping up and down about Joe Biden appointees. You know, and ever since then, I haven't been able to find that fucking video. But my point was, countries shouldn't interfere with other countries. And it's you know, the United States doesn't just go after communist countries. They went after Russia. You know, they shut down that pipeline, which is an act of war. They got together with Germany and made sure that that gas pipeline was going to get shut down. This is what Ted Cruz wanted, and it's what Joe Biden finally did. It's wrong. We should all be encouraging commerce. Everybody, no matter what the regime is. We should all be helping each other. It's fucking psychotic. I'm just saying, that's how the United States thinks. They literally, it doesn't matter if it's communist. It's any country. It's competition. And they don't want to see you doing good.
Russia's been the target
not better than
for 100
them.
years.
You know, Russia can't have a gas pipeline going to Germany.
Well, and you can't claim that these countries are also authoritarian, because imagine what would happen. And you saw Democrats right now prosecuting January 6th protesters. You had the CIA literally sponsor death squads in Venezuela that try to overthrow the president. Do you know what the United States would do if we did the same thing? So get real, Robbie. This is how the real world works. There's no.
Nick said, "Get real, Robbie." He said, "Get real."
Surrounded by Keith. They want to run the world,
but that just cracked me up. But it's true. Imagine if it's never.
It doesn't crack you up, Sabby.
It's never done to us.
It doesn't crack you up. We could tell that you're fake laughing right now. It's the weirdest thing. You don't need to do that. I mean, yeah, what he said was funny. You probably laughed the first time you heard it.
No country is trying to overthrow our president. When have we seen this happen? Not once.
If we did the same thing, so get real, Robbie. This is how the real world works. There's no such thing as overt authoritarianism. It's countries upholding their laws. Laws are a thing, Robbie. You can't overthrow a president without consequence.
Well, look,
I love the fact that Nick mentions his name, because that's something that they actually teach you. I don't know if you guys like took like communication and stuff like that, but there was a class I took when I was in undergrad called interpersonal communication. And one of the things that they taught us in that class is that when you are talking to someone, one of the ways that you can hold their attention, continue to say their name. And it's true. Like if someone says your name, you kind of,
it's just a way to filibuster.
See, like Sabrina, what?
It's a filibuster.
You have their attention. So I thought it was great that Nick
just make
did
your
that.
points and forget the fucking
Robbie
tactics.
Know also, I
just
am
make your
addressing
points,
you
man.
specifically.
God, it doesn't have to be a chess freaking game.
Let's go on. I'll go back a little bit because I interrupted.
Authoritarianism. It's countries upholding their laws. Laws are a thing, Robbie. You can't overthrow a president without consequence.
Well, look, and I think that Robbie does, appreciate that. And to his credit, would if magically we're president of the United States, and maybe this will get him my vote.
Robbie just reeks of Republican, dude, doesn't he? Oh my God, I hate this guy. I fucking hate him. But when he makes a valid point, man, I'll point it out.
Would lift sanctions on countries like Venezuela, but it seems pretty clear that most people, frankly, regardless of political party in this country, most of our political leaders anyway, would not do the same. And I think it's a really interesting tell about their lack of confidence that all of their narratives around some of these countries would actually,
including a lot of the migrants. So I would absolutely support and have supported forever ending the Cuban embargo. A lot of the Cuban migrants who come, one of the reasons we don't do that is there's tremendous political pressure on Florida politicians, on Florida Republicans from Cuban migrants who don't want to do that. Can you explain why that is?
Please,
the
Nick.
Cuban bourgeoisie that has been waging a class war, the same people who fled because Fidel Castro wanted to share the resources with the poor, they don't want to lift the Cuban embargo.
Sounds like a little bit of a euphemism.
No. Go to Cuba and ask the average Cuban how they feel about the Cuban embargo. So these class traders that moved to Florida, their opinion means nothing.
They call them class traders. He said the class traders that moved to Florida. Yeah. No, that's true, man. That's oh my God. That was so funny. I'm sorry. I want laws are a thing, Robbie, to be on a t-shirt. Oh, there's another thing that oh shoot. Eric, did I miss it? You put it up. Oh yes. Nick said, I used to sell cars, so that's how I learned the trick, Sabby. Ah, that's right, because car salesmen do that. They say your name. They keep saying your name. Yeah. No, this is funny. This is hilarious. He's like the class traders that moved to Florida. Okay, we'll go back a little bit. Here we go.
Go to Cuba and ask
sounds like a little bit of a euphemism.
No. Go to Cuba and ask the average Cuban how they feel about the Cuban embargo. So these class traders that moved to Florida, their opinion.
She's basically, somebody in her chat just referred to Nick as a car salesman, and she didn't even flinch, bro. That went right over her head.
Saying they didn't want to keep the Cuban embargo? Does that sound like people who care about the country,
I didn't
Robbie?
know that King Charles told
people
Prince
that
Harry to
support
ditch his
US
wife and
hegemony
come back or
and
he'll exile him forever. That's his son. What the fuck, man?
I don't know.
Domination.
A guy who has people put his toothpaste on his toothbrush for him. You care about what that guy says?
Surrounded by Keith. WTF.
Like I want the uplifting of the global working class, and you guys rather destroy the global working class just so you guys can say zingers like communism never worked, that Cuba is failing. Leave these countries alone and allow them to thrive. And then we can talk.
Leave Brittany alone. Leave communism alone. I love it, man. Leave communism alone, dude.
Until then, you have to explain to me, Robbie, what and capitalists domination. Like I want the uplifting of the global working class, and you guys rather destroy the global working class just so you guys can say zingers like communism never worked, that Cuba is failing. Leave these countries alone and allow them to thrive, and then we can talk. Until then, you have to explain to me, Robbie, what's the excuse for the United States for the massive poverty, despite the fact that we have no country sanctioning us? Where's the U.S. embargo, Robbie? Where we got Skid Row. We got people without health care. 60,000 Americans die each year because they don't have health care. 300,000 plus could have lived through the COVID pandemic if we had health care. So what's the excuse for the United States? Who's the giant power that has got their boot on our neck? Our ruling class has failed. The central planning model of the United States has failed. So to point the finger at other systems and while you live in an empire that people are starving in is the height of cowardice.
Good point. Good point.
Fatality.
That's a good point.
Finish him. Oh my God.
It's not that
surrounded by thief.
It's
but
not.
That's a good question.
Capitalism.
What country is the one that
it's the
has
same question you've been asking over and over
causes
again, and
problems.
you're not going anywhere except around in circles, and it proves nothing. And Nick has scored very little points, you know, and the argument is just stupid. The question was, are these people fleeing from communism or are they fleeing for another reason? And the answer seems to be they're fleeing because we make communism bad. That's what his answer seems to be. Why does it take all this time to get through this? I don't understand. And you know, score this points and la la la. You know, I think Nick made a good point there. But it unfortunately, you know, until you sit down with those 50 migrants, you know, and you ask them, you're not going to know. And these people sit here and pretend like they know what the hell, why these people left this country, you know,
on our neck. Is anybody holding us down right now? Is anybody stopping us from thriving, from growing? No. A lot of the problems that we have economically in this country were caused by us, greed and capitalism. It's a good point. I mean, he brought up some good points. I don't think Robbie was ready. I don't think Robbie was ready for this. Nick brought that fire. I think the worst thing that Robbie could have done was when
Dominic
he laughed
Rio.
while Nick was speaking. That's a no.
whatever.
I mean, our ruling class is definitely failing the American people on a lot of the subjects you just mentioned, the crime, drug addiction, etc. So, look, I'm sure we agree on that. And yeah, let's withdraw those policies and see how it shakes out.
Yeah.
Surrounded by
There you go. You won the argument.
Capitalism is based.
Now that's not an own. Hey, Sabby, you're sitting there laughing like Nick made some incredible point. What did he say at the very beginning? As soon as he started talking, when Nick finally let him start talking for the first time, he's like, I support in lifting these sanctions. And now you make it sound like he just owned him to get him to say the same thing that he's agreed with the whole time that he started talking. What an own, man. Such a team player, Sabby.
And Nick said, so focus on that. He said, so focus on that. Oh my God. Look at the look on Robbie's face. He's like, yeah.
You know, I think Nick makes
and
good
Bree
points.
This smile,
He's been
this smirk
saying
on her
that
face.
LOL.
He's just like, yeah.
But it wasn't some own to get some guy to say
like,
exactly what he said from the very beginning.
Great job, Nick. I don't know what to say.
Well, look, I think we have to leave it there, but thank you so much for joining us, Nick.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me on. Make sure you guys check me out on Revolutionary Blackout if you had a chance, so you get some real international reporting that can tell you the truth about the crimes of the U.S. empire.
And then Nick did not leave without saying, where you can find me, check me out on Revolutionary Blackout Network. And then he also added where you can get real news analysis.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. But, you know, everybody has to promote themselves when they go on a show like that. It's not a big surprise. Why do you keep fake laughing, Sabby? God, I just want to see you laugh for real one time. I want to see a real laugh out of you. This is just so phony, you know? It just plays out as phony.
Look. I don't think Robbie was ready. I don't think he was ready for that.
Surrounded by Keith.
Yeah.
Look,
I've never seen her
the only
before.
reason I'm doing this is because I love her and I don't want to see her become some phony, talking head on the internet. I want her to keep it real. And this fake laughing and the team playing and not being able to dissect an actual debate because you're so one-sided on your team, it's making you look bad. I hope she'll see this and she'll take a little bit of criticism and start keeping it real. And the fake laughter and all that shit, it's just not necessary.
A great job. I'm so glad.
I mean, if you go right to the part where he finally lets Robbie speak for the first time.
The Venezuelan people 100% knows what's going on. That's why Nicolas Maduro is stronger than ever. And this is another example of U.S. sanctions failing. They know the United States government is trying to take them down.
Countries, class is
complaining about January 6th.
It's kind of funny too, because we were talking about people's
model instead of our actions.
Has this look on her face like pretty much just
oppose many of the policies you just mentioned, the support for regime change. I would get rid of all these sanctions too.
Boom. And that was at the very beginning. It's the very first thing he says. Yeah, I don't like regime changes. I don't like the sanctioning. I agree with you. And if that is making communism not work, then we need to stop.
Yep.
But was it capitalism that made all those political prisoners under communism? He makes that point. Sabby never awards it to him.
I think he said it like 3 times, LOL.
Well, he had to, because people like Sabby just team play and they ignore what's being said. And that's why I like to do stuff like this, because it'll allow you to see, the truth behind what really happened. And I'm no expert in communism or politics or anything like that. But I can listen to a debate and just tell you whether or not there's points that are being won or lost. It's very simple. And it's just so silly for Sabby to act like it's this complete ownage, because at the very end, he says the same thing. He's like, yeah, lift the sanctions. And she's like, oh, what an own. Oh, he owned that guy. Oh, what for saying the exact same thing he said literally 20 minutes ago, Sabby? He said it 20 minutes ago when Nick finally let him have a word. So this is basically Nick, understanding, having a great understanding of what's going on between America and other countries. And that's fantastic. And I think this guy may have learned something, this Robbie guy. But it's sad that Sabby takes this as an opportunity to just bash this guy, and just act like, and he didn't make any points and that he didn't have any validity in this conversation at all. When, you can ignore things for only so long, but between ignoring facts and fake laughing and acting like there were owns when there were none, it takes away from your overall power as a podcaster. It does for me. And I'm just one guy, Sabby. The rest of your followers are probably going to follow you just like you follow Nick. And you can never say anything bad or do anything bad that's going to, that's not going to make sense. Everything you say makes sense. But, I love at the beginning of this video when she says communism doesn't exist. That's my favorite, because it takes away the basis for everything that Nick is defending for the rest of the argument. For the entire rest of the debate, he's defending communism, and Sabby claims it doesn't exist. She even claimed it didn't exist when defending it at one point. Yeah, I thought that was really interesting. So I'm going to hold your feet to the fire, and if I like you enough to spend this much time on you, I must think you're worth it. I want you to know that. I love Sabby. I think she's fucking awesome.
To be Keith. Non sequitur.
I like listening to her show. I think she's great. At the same time, Sabby, don't do the fake laughing anymore, and the team playing is bullshit. Just keep it more real. Don't do it for me. Do it for you. Just consider that for you. It'll make you such a better person. This fucking team sports shit, man. I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. You know, if the ref didn't see it, it didn't happen. The only problem is all of us are the ref and all of us can see it for what it is. When you can sit here and pause shit, you know, and listen through to what's being said and how some things are being disregarded and the fake laughing. Oh my God. And the team playing. Oof. Oh, fucking here comes the hurricane, man. Go from a stomach flu to a hurricane. I need to put some stakes in the ground. Stake down those fences. I need to put more fences around the other banana trees too. Oh my God, I gotta get my umbrella out of there. That's gone. Holy shit. Yeah, I got some shit I gotta do. We gotta bring all the furniture in.
Valentine.
It's gonna be a mess, dude.
Oh yeah. Your entire state is in prep mode.
Dude, it's gonna be a fucking mess in my yard. Because I've spent so much time making it pretty, and this hurricane's gonna come through and just destroy it. I'm so sad. Can we just look at it one time and enjoy the yard right now, guys? Oh my God, I am so sad. There it is. Just one time, nice and pretty. Okay. No. Ooh. I like making funny faces.
It'd be Keith.
I'm about to smoke a bong hit.
Someone clip it. Josh G. That
Someone
new roof is gonna make that hurricane a bitch.
You clip it.
Nick Brown. Last time I looked it was gonna be more north. But it's still very unpredictable.
No law regarding cannabis. Cheers, everybody.
Josh G. Look, it's powder. Billy Ballantyne. I bet you'll see a bear flying by or a deer will fall from the sky. Bernardo. Dominic Leo. Keep it real. Marty's in the house. Hurricane hit Canada's coast earlier, lots of people without power.
Oh my God, I feel so much better.
Now to Ukraine,
Billy Ballantyne.
where voting is happening
Where the fuck is
again
Cannabis
today
Coast?
in what are being called sham referendums on joining Russia.
So General Wesley
Referendums
Clark
which
came to
are
my home
illegal
here in this
under
neighborhood, and I
international
recorded
law,
his
are
Democratic
taking
National
place in
Convention
4
speech
Russian-occupied
at
territories
my
in
recording
Ukraine.
studio. So I
President
know him.
Biden
I met him
says
personally.
The U.S. will never recognize results
anyway,
of the vote.
This right
And
here
police in Moscow,
is
they're
him.
breaking
He's
up more
coming on.
protests today. A protest monitoring group says nearly 1,500 protesters have now been detained across Russia since President Vladimir Putin declared a military draft. General Wesley Clark is a CNN military analyst. He's also the former NATO Supreme Allied Commander and a senior fellow at the Berkeley Institute. Good to see you. So we're hearing reports of protesters being conscripted, men from small villages who were fishermen also
Wesley Clark
being
is based.
drafted. So does it really help the Russian war effort to have untrained soldiers in this fight?
Well, I think we're hearing the fringes of this, Frederica, honestly. I think they are pulling in people who've had prior military service. I think there are people in there who can help their performance. And so you're going to have some on the fringes who may be resistant. Hopefully it's more than the fringes. But I wouldn't take any great good feeling about this. The point is that Putin has doubled down on this. He said he's going to stay in the war. It's not 300,000, it's up to 1 million. And
Marty's in the house. Nova Scotia and P.E.I.
Hey, Marty, did you guys catch that? So, wow, nearly 1,500 protesters in Russia have been detained in Russian demonstrations, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, I wouldn't put too much stock in that. It's not having too much of a negative effect on what Putin's doing. And yeah, you don't celebrate this. All this means is he's fucking stepping it up and bringing more people in. If he's recruiting more people into this war and getting more soldiers, that sounds like a problem. And whether or not there's 1,500 protesters that just got arrested. And that's the general's talking right there, man. He was the NATO Allied Supreme Commander. What?
300K up to 1
They
mil.
got that shit. He was that. I met that guy. One of the most powerful generals in the world. To command the most amount of people underneath his orders. He held that position.
It'd be Kiev. And they have 20 plus million reserves.
I recorded a track for him. $20 million reserves.
Dominic Leo. Nay, how you feeling better?
Dominic, thank you for asking. I'm feeling 100% better. I feel like I'm back, so I know I need to rest. I need to just take it easy. Because when you're feeling like this and you go out and you go exert yourself and then you end up getting sick again. So I just got to take it easy. Take it easy. Looks like it's going to rain on my bananas, though. It's going to rain on my bananas. It sounds like some kind of a sexual terminology. Let me see the clips you guys put up on Twitter, man. It's review clips time. It's review clips time.
Valentine. I described you to AI and it painted you in another dimension, kinda. It's beautiful. Sent it to Nay's Garden Show Twitter. Look close. Surrounded by Kiev. Pervert. Doc Hollandaisy. 3-hour show up, yo.
Pervert.
Doc Hollandaisy.
Sexual.
Yo.
It's going to rain on my bananas. Docky, the missteps. What's the true definition? Negative terminology. Headline, cannabis. Nay's garden is on fire. Words matter. Stop. Rocks. Adam.
Brown.
Cannabis.
I made a clip
Kind
that didn't
of
have
funny.
audio for some reason.
Kind of funny. Doc. Doesn't have a title. It's cannabis, says Doc. God, look at all these clips. Oh my God. James McGill.
MERK83.
Dude, this is why we've got so many people here today, guys. You guys are doing this. Thank you so much. What is this?
Ellen Daisy. Clips on deck.
What the hell? Okay, so
Valentine.
The first clip
Dicks on sticks.
was right here. All right, let me tell you. Marijuana. These are short. Okay, here, let's do this.
Dominic Leo.
Dummy dum dum. Dummy dum dum. Let's watch these clips. All right, let me tell you, marijuana is a fake, made-up, racist word. You know, it's like the N-word is for humans.
Coming from California,
the M-word is for plants.
My phone's is almost dead now and very hot.
You don't want to call them that word.
We watching Nays Garden till the
It's
phone
the
blows
M-word.
up.
You don't want to use that.
LOL.
Makes me sick. Huh. All right, let me tell you. It's too bad you're all talking over the clip, bro. Why are you doing that? Can't hear it when you're talking over it. It's too bad you're all talking over the clip, bro. Why are you doing that? Okay. True Leave was the first homegrown medical marijuana company to open a dispensary in Florida and now holds the lion's share of the state market at an estimated 50. You know, it's funny. This moron that wrote this article, I should write a letter to the editor and say, it's kind of funny how the guy who wrote this article was literally...
Cat 4 heading your way, price of gas will go up.
Interviewing people that are classy enough to call it cannabis for the very reason that the word marijuana is racist, while he insists in the titling and throughout the whole article to use racist terminology to refer to cannabis. Okay, that's a good one. Look at all these clips, man. Said spokesman Steve Vancore said, our goal has been since day one to provide high-quality, safe cannabis products. You see how the industry leaders refer to it? They call it cannabis. Isn't that nice?
Billy Ballantyne.
And this fits in squarely
the
with
price of bears will skyrocket soon.
Okay. True Leave was the first homegrown medical marijuana company to open a dispensary in Florida and now holds the lion's share of the state market at an estimated 50. You know, it's funny. This moron that wrote this article, I should write a letter to the editor and say, it's kind of funny how the guy who wrote this article was literally interviewing people that are classy enough to call it cannabis. That's what. For the very reason that the word marijuana is racist. That was the other clip, okay. Said spokesman Steve Vancore said, was the first homegrown medical marijuana company to open a dispensary in Florida. The industry leaders refer to it? The lion's share of the state market at an estimated 50. You know, it's funny. This moron that wrote this article. So you guys are all putting up the same clip, which is fine. That's great. Thank you guys so much for doing this.
Top of the hour.
They
fire him up.
Constantly use cannabis as a way to get people to buy the paper because so many people are interested. It is top of the hour in California. How funny is that? Cheers. So I used to see front news all the time. Headlines would be around cannabis. And I used to take pictures of that shit and put it up on Twitter and shit. I'd be like, look, what's going on in California in the newspapers and shit. Florida is now doing the same thing. I could see that they are, once again, every industry is benefiting from cannabis, even the newspaper.
Top of the hour. Doc Hollandaise, fire him up. Cheers.
Thank you. That was a great one, Doc. That was the one. I counted 43 uses of negative or racist terminology to refer to cannabis in the two articles on pages 3 and 4 of the Sunday edition of the Local and State section from authors Jeffrey Schweers and Trevor Frazier. The word marijuana was invented by racist mogul William Randolph Hearst to use America's racism against cannabis. The word pot was first used to describe a toilet. Neither of these terms are conducive to the cannabis legalization movement. Please consider using the word cannabis in the future. I counted 43 uses of negative or racist terminology to refer to cannabis in the two articles.
This is why people have
to... Sabby, at that point, why don't you say what part of communism these countries aren't satisfying for your audience and for my sake? Okay, so just tell me in the future, if you ever see this video, maybe someone will make a clip and send it to you right here. And just be like, hey, Sabby, so, okay, what are these countries not doing to satisfy communism's true definition?
That would be key.
Okay, and make that point.
China isn't completely communist. They have a form of capitalism.
Right? Says you. I mean, maybe ask the people that are in internment camps in China if they feel like they're in a communist country.
This is why people have
to... Sabby, at that point, why don't you say what... That was really good. I like that one.
Now, so I'm asking you, Robbie, what's the excuse for the United States Of course, there are always missteps that governments make, but the United States is the richest.
Of course, there's always missteps that governments
Surrounded by Keith.
96 million
LOL.
aren't missteps, bro. 96 million. There's something wrong there.
Doc Holland Daisy.
So
Clip
he's got a
Goldman.
point to laugh, Sabby. I'm just saying. This is called team playing here. This is what she's doing. She's playing on her team now. She's totally not paying attention to just what happened. She's in denial about communism too. She says it doesn't exist. Now she's going to defend it.
Now, so I'm asking you, Robbie, what's the excuse for the United States? Of course.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for all of the clips. Oh my God, I'm liking and retweeting everything. I hope you guys will get in there and like and retweet these too. I would love it if you guys would like and retweet each other's tweets while I'm liking and retweeting y'all's tweets. That would be great.
Valentine. She's an Egyptian pharaoh. Queen of denial. Doc Holland Daisy. The clip review was awesome, man.
Thanks. It was fun going over all the clips you guys made. You can. She's like, she can't blow smoke rings. I can. And I'm like, you can. Just fucking, you'll do it. Deported slave says, I don't understand the question. Oh, you don't understand the question? Oh, okay. No problem. 400,000 is the limit set for all of these investigators. So if you do not make 400,000
I really like corn. It has the juice.
Yearly, they will not be looking into you. There. I'm so nice, aren't I? To take the time to explain that. And Indy says not asking you to act. Cool. Then I won't. Good. Thanks for taking the load off my shoulders, bro. You know, because when it was happening to me and I was getting silenced, I wanted everybody to do something for me. But since you don't need any help or whatever, cool, bro. Cool. Best of luck to you. All right. Well, man, I want to keep going, and I feel like I could.
Yep.
But I really need to get off the show, man. Go spend some time with my mom. I don't even know if she's here. She might not even be in the house. Let me go see if my mom's here. Give me a second.
Brown. Hashtag keep it open.
Okay, so she's in there talking on the phone, so I'm going to go in there and go hang out with my mom and just spend some time with her. I love you guys. I hope you guys had fun, and I will see you on the next show this afternoon sometime, okay? You guys take care. Peace out till next time.
Brown. Get Storm ready, bro. Nick Brown. Thanks, bro. Billy Ballantyne.
It's the
Time to put
Lark
the
Davis song.
Put the cows
Hey,
in
let
the
me look
barn
at
too.
crypto real quick before we go. just going to pull that up. $18.9, dude. I did good. I got it $18.4. I got in at $18.4. I got in at $18.4. I got in at $18.4. And the 24-hour low is $18.8.
Hashtag I do have stuff I need to attend to.
Do you guys think crypto's going to go back up? Or do you think it's just going to keep slowly dropping?
See y'all later.
Oh, you don't want to talk? Okay, fine.